All right. It is a Thursday, and on Thursdays, that means the folks from Bumper to Bumper come in, the car and truck doctors, answer questions about your particular car. If you've got a problem with your car, you want to ask the car and truck doctors about it, all you got to do is to call in and let Val get you all set up in our system, and then we'll take your call. 501-401 1011. That's the number. It's a it's been the same number now for about 5 months, but it takes a while to get used to saying it that way because I've been saying it for 12 years another way. So anyway.
Yeah, somebody asked me the other day the number, and I gave them the old number. They said, "Are you sure that's the right
number?"
Oh, wait a minute. That's the wrong number. Never mind.
Yeah, 501-401-1011. So if you call that, you can talk directly to the guys. If not, we've got plenty of things to talk about. And what's cool today is I think maybe it's been a year since we've had these two guys into the studio together, ready to answer questions. And Duck and Joe are here today.
Yep.
It's been a while. Hey. First time that you've seen the new studio, Joe. Well, you like it?
Sure. It looks nice.
Yeah. This is better than the old studio.
I think so. Yeah.
The only thing I like about the old one, I can sit there and watch the sun come up in the morning.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't have any windows in the studio. Well, we do.
Yeah, we do got one. We can see that.
But if you're claustrophobic, it might cost you some problem. Okay, so Larry Franklin lives here in Little Rock. Larry, how are you? Welcome to the Car and Truck Doctors. What's your question?
Well, I'm just saying, I've got a 22 model Canyon, GMC Canyon with active fuel management and little V6. And I've been getting a lot of advertisement about the little chip thing that you plug in your computer and it cuts out your active fuel management. And I'd just like to know if that's good or bad, or should you do it or not?
They work. I got a customer got it on his, and his works. He swears by it.
Okay.
You know, the problem is they have lifter problems out of them things. And when you put that on it kills that part of it, and it stops your lifters from doing what they're supposed to do. They work. If we have camshaft go down on one, we don't put them lifters back in it. We delete it out of it.
That's a fact.
Okay. All right. Well, you think that will solve the problem of the lifters if you put that on?
Every one we've put on, we haven't had no more problems out of them.
Well, what it does, it deactivates those lifters from operating, and we believe that extends their life.
Yeah, and what happens to them when it cuts them off? It sticks the lifter down, down in the bottom. And then the first thing you know is they take the camshaft up.
Okay. Well, I do appreciate.
What brand was that?
What brand? That's what I was saying. What brand? Do you know what brand it was you was looking at?
No, they're just all on Facebook. There's just numerous brands, and I'm curious as to which one might be the best. Or
you may call the shop and talk to
Range.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Range. I was going to say you may call the shop and talk to Russell or Blake about which one that he's been seeing more of. But I think it's the Range is one we've been seeing more of.
Yeah, I've actually ordered some of them for customers and had them in and let them install them, and I haven't had anybody come back and complain about them.
No, everyone that we've done, and every customer I've seen that bought them, they say, hey, they work tremendously, and it stops the lag in the power too.
If you're still under warranty, if your vehicle's still under warranty, if you take it back to the manufacturer,
take it out, and don't don't leave it in the truck. Yeah, take it out, take it inside the house. All right,
and thank you.
Thank you.
All right, good.
Thanks for calling.
So explain to me, Duck and Joe, what did we just talk about?
It's a little deal you plug into the computer plug up underneath the dash.
Okay.
And it kills the lifter from what they call deactivating it.
Yeah, it's
stops it from going to 4 cylinders.
Everybody's probably familiar with the insurance companies want you to plug the little deal in the AO deal, and it monitors your driving. And if you're a good, safe driver, it lowers your rates. Well, that's great, but if you're not that safe, it also
no, we can't have one.
But that's the same deal. It just plugs in the ALDO connector, and it changes the programming of the PCM to not see what you would call active fuel management or the DOD delete on it or whatever. So it won't do that part of it. But
and they've had good look at them. I mean, it's saved a many of camshaft and lifters.
All right, so I was out a couple of weeks ago, and I had gone to a place to grab a bite to eat and to watch basketball, and I was sitting down next to a state trooper who was there, and I looked at him and I said, "I have a question for you." He says, "Everybody who sits next to me always does." I had to laugh a little bit about that, but I said, "I'm out on the road. There's nobody in front of me. There's nobody in back of me. And I got pulled over for doing 11 miles an hour over the speed limit, and I'm not jerking back and forth between lanes. How come you're bothering me? I'm not bothering anybody. I'm not putting anybody in harm's way." And he said, "State needs its money." That was exactly what he said. The state needs its money. I don't know how much money they get out of it, for the.
Because the county gets so much, and the cities, if they got to go to court in the city gets part of it, the county gets part of it, then the state gets the rest of it.
So the bottom line is, as I've always thought, it has to do with the money.
Exactly.
It's got a lot to do with how much that fine is, depending on what court.
Yeah, what court you got to go to.
That's correct.
Really?
Yes.
Now, when they got me coming out of Hardy that day,
yeah,
the guy looked at me. He said, "If I write you this ticket, I got to take you to jail."
Oh, really? They had a local ordinance about that?
They're a state trooper. No, I was
too fast.
I was low flying.
Yeah. You were flying low?
I was just running 87 and a 55.
Yeah, luckily you didn't hit something in the air. Yeah. I'm quoting a little blood rock.
Oh, I rounded the corner, and he was sitting on the side of the road, and I just pulled over.
Amazing.
Because as soon as I rounded the corner, the blue lights come on. So I just pulled over.
Go over. Yeah, I don't argue with it. If I know that I'm speeding, and probably more times than not, I am, to be honest with you, because I can handle the car, no problem. Yeah. I don't go, zipping through the traffic like I'm a water bug or something like that.
Me neither.
Like me?
I drive. I drive good. I drive with the rest of the drivers typically. Yep. And in fact, I got out of a ticket a few weeks ago because he says, "Why are you going so fast?" I said, "Well, number one, I got to get to work." But I said, number two, everybody's going this speed. How'd you pick me out of the crowd?
The flow of traffic, yeah. If you don't, they go around you and that could cause an accident.
And he looked at me and he says, "I'm just going to write you up a warning." And I said, "Well, I appreciate that. Thank you very much."
Yep.
You're talking about that. I got stopped one morning. It was raining and I was in a hurry and I was speeding. Went past a trooper going the other direction. When went by, the lights came on, so I just went ahead and pulled over and waited on him.
Yeah.
It was raining.
Right.
So he pulls up behind me, he gets on his PA, says, "Get your paperwork, come back and sit down in the passenger seat of the car." So I'm out in the rain.
So you get wet.
So I sit down in the front seat of the car and give him paperwork, and he checks everything. He's got a little clipboard on his steering wheel there. It's got, his ticket pad and all that. And he looks over at me and said, "Before I write this ticket, I'm going to write you a ticket. You're getting a ticket. But before I write it, it's either going to be a warning ticket or a real ticket. I have one question." I said, "All right, what's that?" He said, "Did you have your seatbelt on?" I thought for a second and I said, "Before or after you turned that loose?" He did exactly the same thing. He started laughing. He said, "For that, you get a warning ticket." So sometimes if you can make them laugh, it really helps.
Yeah, I agree. Well, I find if you're honest with them,
he asked me,
different.
He walks up to the window and I had my paperwork. He said, "Oh, I need your driver's license. I done checked everything else." And I said, "Okay." He said, "Can I ask you a question?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Are you in a hurry to go somewhere?" "Nope." And I said, "You want the honest truth?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "Man, I got a bad heavy foot. I drive fast." He looks at me like, "What?" And walks back there and he comes back up there and he said, "Hey, I'm going to cut this ticket down to," I think he cut it down to 64 and a 55. and I appreciated it. Still was $150 ticket, but
Mm-hmm.
he done told me, hey, if I write it for 87 and 55, I got to take you to jail.
Oh, yeah. Well, anything would be better than jail.
Yeah. And so I said, okay.
Especially a local jail.
The next time I get pulled over, I'm going to ask them, I'm be like, they're going to say, why were you speeding? And I'm going to be like, to get away from all the other idiots.
Yeah.
That's
work,
really why I do it. Like, I don't want to be around nobody because they're all stupid.
Yeah, that may not work.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Okay.
But anyway, Dave, you know what's coming up in a week from Saturday?
Yep, car show is
coming up. Bumper to bumper car show. We had our last meeting Tuesday night, Joe?
Yeah.
Tuesday night, got everything arranged, got all the judges arranged. All the trophies are in, all the T-shirts and everything are done. Everything is ready to go that way. They're going next Friday morning at 9:00 to mark the floor.
Set it all up.
Yeah, get everything set up, get all the tables set up. I won't be there. Joe's going to be there. Blake's going in my place. I've got some other arrangements I got to take care of on Friday. So car show's coming. We've had, I think they said the other day, a little less than 30 pre-registered. The most we've ever had pre-registered.
I was going to say, that's more than what we typically have. We usually have like 20, 22.
But I think there's just one car show that weekend now.
Oh, well, that's good.
Where last year we had 5 car shows around us, within a 20, 30-minute drive from us. So that, should help. But we're raising money. We raised the entry fee up to $25 this year. All that money goes straight to Ronald McDonald House, where each shop is selling tickets for the 2 prizes we're going to give away. And all that money goes to Ronald McDonald House. We try to raise $10,000 every year to give to Ronald McDonald House. And last year we was off a little bit, which car count was down a little bit too. But the walk-in traffic was great last year. As you know,
it was packed. It really was packed.
The walk-in traffic was, I was amazed how many people walked through the door.
A lot of spectators, and weather looks good for that Saturday too.
Yeah,
it does.
Yeah, and so, come on out and see us. We're all of the shops have got stuff to give away. I have got all my ducks in. They all come in some of them last week. Then I got a couple of boxes in this week from them too. I actually found some new ones. They light up, Joe.
Yeah.
The ducks light up. Got a button on the bottom. You push it and they light up. She got keychains that lights up this year, but she got the one that everybody wants to put on her dash.
I want the one in camel.
She bought 400 variety of them.
Wow.
So, but she had 400 last year. And she told me, she said, do I need to up this? I said, no, 400. Then she comes out there. She said, hey, I found these.
Keychains?
Yeah, the keychain with a lighted duck on them.
I've been a lot of people who like that.
So she said, can I buy some of these? I said, yeah, go ahead. I think she told me she bought 200 of them. The duck's a little bit smaller on the keychain than the regular
Did you
duck.
happen to get the demon duck? The one where you light the light up and the beams come out of their eyes?
I don't know. She done all that. She, I'm out on that. Her and Russell and Blake, there was one going through all that, looking at that stuff. And she got a couple other odds and ends to give away. All the shops will give stuff away. And we're all going to give a prize away, through the morning. Usually we start around 9:30, calling shops up and they'll draw out of your box and, stuff like that. But, I got stuff to give away. Joe's got stuff to give away. Dewdrop, he told me he got all his T-shirts in, Joe.
That's good.
Yeah, he likes to give out T-shirts. He's
There's
done
a
it
lot
every
of
year.
swag there, I promise you.
Yeah. You'll walk away with a bag full of stuff.
Yeah. I got some plastic bags that I bought a couple of years ago. I bought a whole bunch of them, and I still got, I think Russell said, a case and a half left of them. So I have some bags, to put your stuff in as when you walk through. So it'll be okay.
And what's the entry fee again?
Entry fee is $25 for the car. It's nothing to get in the door.
That's what I meant.
To walk in to look at it.
Yeah, it's free. Yeah,
it's
If
free.
you're looking for something cool to do this weekend.
No, next
weekend. I'm
weekend.
sorry, next weekend.
And if you want to donate to Ronald McDonald House, you can buy tickets to win one of the 2. Is it a garden? I guess yard stuff.
The package with the leaf blower and all the rest.
Yeah, it's a steel leaf blower kit.
Electric, of course.
Yeah, it's all battery operated. So
So hold your dollars from them people from the freeway so that you can give it to the Ronald McDonald House.
Yep.
In 2 weeks.
We'll have the signs all up on the interstate getting off, tell you know which way to go down to it. It's at the expo center. You know, come on down and see us. There's plenty of parking. We're going to have food trucks out back. I think the coffee, they was talking about a coffee trailer there going to be there in the mornings to sell, you know, for coffee. So Riverside Catering, Riverside Grocery down at Benton Does a Catfish, he's going to be there. He's supposed to be there around 8:00, and he said, I'll serve some breakfast too. So, you know, it'd be pretty
I'll be
nice.
on the air, can't eat at that time. He must have known that. Let's take a break. 22 after 7. We've got Duck here from Duck's Garage. Got Joe here from Joe's Garage. And it's two different facilities because they're owned by two different men. But it's the first time they've been together on the show in quite a while. I started off doing the Car and Truck Doctors with Joe.
Yep.
And then he tricked Duck into coming on, and Duck didn't leave after that. We're glad to have him here. And now when we're talking about cars general, we have somebody from the Bumper to Bumper Certified Service Centers on with us to take your questions and talk about things that you need to know about when it comes to your car. 23 after 7 now. I've talked for another minute. Let me get out of the way. Here's your break so we can pay some bills.
Did the allergy girl ever call you, Dave?
This thing.
All right, back with you. The computer froze up. Must have stage fright now. Yep. Telling you, that's what it comes down to when it gets to that point. Joe, let me ask you. We started, and Duck, the three of us, started the car show about 23 years ago.
Has it been that long, Dave?
It's been a long time. I remember when I first brought it up to Joe, and he looked at me and says, yeah. That was kind of the way he answered me.
I remember when Joe pitched it to me, I looked at him and I said, are you crazy?
Anyway, we had it on the east side of War Memorial.
Yep, in the small parking lot there.
Yep, and we had we didn't think we were going to have any cars at first, but then we ended up with about... I
think it's about 60, I think.
Yeah, cars showed up. I think it was a Oldsmobile 626 that won that year, and we've been doing it ever since, and it has gotten bigger and bigger every year. And you got the folks from over at Bumper to Bumper who have been very instrumental in helping us to grow this, and we really appreciate all of what they do for us.
And they do, Dave. They do a lot for it. I mean, the first couple of years, me and Joe, we pretty well did it all, didn't we, Joe? Yeah. We had James involved.
We had a little
too.
bit of help.
Yeah.
The guys at Bumper to Bumper right now, the day of that car show, they'll have over 20 employees there helping.
Yeah, at least 20.
That's not including our shops. We'll all have volunteers to help too. So in all, that car show probably takes like 60 people to run it.
I was going to say 50 to 60 people to run it. I mean, and you know, when we first started, Dave, it took all year long to get it up and going.
Yep, I remember.
But Jerry Rocher, he put it on a platform, and now we can have a couple of meetings and get it all done.
No, you guys got the checklist and everything. I mean, you know what needs to be done. Let's get a caller in before we take our break at the bottom of the hour. Vincent is on the line. Vince, what kind of car you got?
I got a 80 model CJ7. It's got the 2.5 liter Iron Duke in it.
Mm-hmm.
I can start it up. I don't have any oil pressure. I took the oil sensor out and started it, and no oil comes out the oil sensor hole. I took the oil pump shaft out, rigged up something on my drill motor to turn the oil pump.
Yep.
Spun it, and oil comes out the sensor hole. Put it all back together and cranked it, and no oil comes out the hole.
The shaft, does it go up in the bottom of the distributor?
No, it's on the front of the engine through a little plate that's got 2 bolts on it.
Something stripped on it. You got something. If
When
you
you-
can turn it by drill and it got oil pressure, you got something stripped.
When you said it doesn't have any oil pressure, does the engine start?
Yeah, it will start and ran. I let it
Okay.
run for about a minute till I realized it didn't have any oil pressure.
Yeah, there's something going on with that.
Yeah, you're going to have to tear into it and figure out
Yeah.
what's going on with it. If something's stripped on it, I guarantee you got a gear stripped or something or other, or a shaft stripped or something. But if you can put a drill on it,
On the
go ahead.
and the oil, so I need to drop the pan, take
Yes.
the 2 gears out of the oil pump.
Yep, and look and see what's stripped on it. Something is stripped somewheres. You're just going to have to start tearing it apart till you find it. It's the only way you're going to be able to find it.
I was confused why I could spin it with a drill and have oil squirting out that hole, but with the
It ain't going to be in the
running-
oil pump then. If you can spin it with a drill, it ain't in the oil pump. It's whatever's driving that's what is.
Correct.
It's where your problem is. You're going to have to find whatever's driving. And it should drive off that plate. It should have a gear there somewhere that's driving it off the camshaft most likely.
Yeah, I looked at that shaft. It's about 6 or 8 inches long. The gear looks good. I can see the gear on the camshaft that turns the shaft. All of that looks good.
But the spline where it splines up into the bottom of it, it could be stripped off there too. Like I say, you're
On
gonna have
that
to
shaft?
you're gonna have to start tearing it apart till you find out what's wrong with it. Till you find it.
Yeah. I was hoping y'all could tell me something simple.
I ain't really nothing simple about that.
On mechanical stuff, yeah.
Okay.
You're
All right.
You're going to have to finish it up, which get in there and look at it and every piece on it,
Yeah.
from the drive all the way down to it, and see what's going on with. But I kind of agree with Doug. It's going to be a keyway or
Something stripped.
something come loose,
Okay.
and letting it.
All right.
But I wouldn't
Slip.
pull the pan
Thanks
and
for your
pull the oil
call.
pump off. I wouldn't do none of that because that ain't where your problem is.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Thank you, sir. If you have any other stuff, give
Thank
me a
you.
holler at
Bye.
the shop and we'll help you.
Will do.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate your call.
Ain't seen one of them in a long
If
time.
you're wanting to, by the way, if you've got a problem with your car or you want to talk to Joe and Duck, 501-401-1011. That's the number here on the Car and Truck Doctors. Had a few people call in today already. Phone lines are clear, so if you call, we'll get you ready. We'll take you right after the break. That's coming up. We'll get to that in just a moment, get you some more opinion. And we got one more day with our, what's his name? Who's going to be on the bottom of the hour? Who do we get coming up at the bottom of the hour? Yeah, O'Reilly. And we got one more day with him starting Monday. When you tune in, the bottom of the hour, we'll have a newscast for you. And we've added the minute on there that gives you some local news, and it gives you the sports scores from last night as well. So we're always fine tuning here and making sure we're serving you the best that we can. Let's take our break, and then O'Reilly's up on the Dave Ellswick Show.
I ain't seen one of them motors in a long time. It's kind of like a Chrysler. You know, Chrysler's got the gear sits in there, and the stripper's got the shaft. That's kind of what it's got. It sits in there, but it's got a drive shaft.
I was asking when it starts. So
Yeah.
you just crank no oil pressure.
Yeah.
That
Tells you something
keyway's
stripped. Yeah.
spinning this year.
Yeah.
When I was asking him if it would start none. Oh yeah, start none. Well, that tells me that it's not on that part.
It's something from there down to the pump because he said he put a drill in it. And it got plenty of oil pressure, so it's something from there down to the pump. And it's probably going to be the hexagon shaft what goes up in the bottom of that thing. It's probably going to be stripped.
Of course, I don't know what speed he's spinning on the drill that either.
Yeah. It may be
If
very
they start that
fast.
up, it's going to be at 600 rounds a minute.
Yeah.
And that's going to be probably about the oil drive one. That's going to be engine RPM.
Yeah.
If he
All right, we're back with the folks at Bumper to Bumper Certified Auto Centers here in our local area. If you want to know which one is closest to you, just Google. Just do Google it, and it'll show you all of them, and you pick the one that's closest and know that they're all as good as the other because they all follow the same rules that Bumper to Bumper wants them to follow. So keep that in mind. So, and they all live by one adage that I want to make sure I get in here, and that is they don't work on your car. They're going to fix your car.
What does Ken Sullivan say?
Well, they have to fix them because a lot of you are trying to destroy it yourself.
And the shade tree mechanic nowadays,
it's dead.
Yeah, if you ain't got $10,000 worth of computers, do you, Joe? You're pretty well lost.
If you let a shade tree mechanic work on your vehicle, there's like 80-90% chance that it's going to cost you more when he can't fix it and you have to hire somebody that can.
Yeah.
Because they're going to have to go back over what he did. And if he misdiagnosed and did this, and sometimes when we get them in there, we have to fix them backwards.
Yeah. So always share with your technician if you've worked on the car, what you've done.
And don't leave no part of it out.
That's it.
Yeah.
You sugarcoat the story, but it's not going to change what's wrong with it.
And if you sugarcoat it, and we've got to spend 2 or 3 extra hours trying to figure out what you're trying to tell us,
that's your labor bill.
Cost you more.
It costs you more. So just tell us up front, hey, I've done this, I've done this, I've done this. Ain't nothing worked. This is new and this is new. Okay. Then we can go from there and figure out. And like Joe said, we're going to work it backwards. We're going to start up here at the front and work until we figure out where you messed up at.
Yeah, so keep that in mind.
And we all mess up. Don't get me wrong. We all mess up. Don't we, Joe?
Yeah, absolutely. The rule of thumb is like, and I tell my techs and all the other CSCs the same thing. If you bring a vehicle in and you make a repair on it, when you get through, you go drive it. Of course, we road test them before we repair them and after we repair them.
Yep.
And you go road test it, you might have fixed the customer's complaint, what he was complaining about. But if there's any warning lights on that weren't on the first road test, they're on the second road test. What happened there, Duck? We created something.
Something happened.
So we got
to go back. Part.
Yeah, there you go. We got to go back and see what's going on. So we actually police ourselves in that aspect to make sure that when the car leaves, it's not just been worked on, it's been fixed.
And been drove.
That's correct. Road tested and verified.
And how many times, Joe, we put one wheel bearing in it and go for a test drive and come back and tell the customer, hey, it needs the other one too.
The loudest when you hear it, you get it quiet, and then the second one is over there and it's starting to whine.
Yeah.
Or you'll.
Because the first one made so much noise you couldn't hear the problem.
That's
starting
correct.
With the second.
It's making more noise than you can differentiate between the two.
Which one is coming from?
And you have to remember, they were all born on the same day.
Yeah. They all got the same amount of miles.
One's out, it's not going to be long before the other one follows too.
Yep.
So save yourself some labor costs by while they got things open and they're working on one thing, and let them go ahead and fix the other if you can. I understand sometimes money's tight.
We recommend doing sets, on the front. You got one front one bad, do both front ones.
I got a Ford truck in there. They're putting an evaporator core in it.
Put a heater core.
And Blake told the customer, he said, I'm going to put a heater core while I'm there. It ain't leaking. Yeah.
It will.
But it's 7 hours back in there this fall when you come in to me and it's leaking. He said, you know what? That heater core's cheap, ain't it?
Yeah. Couple $100 and you can save yourself $1,200.
Yep.
Yeah. It's really amazing.
And we don't ever pull one unless, we put both of them. Unless the customer says, hey, I don't want it.
All right. There's some new things coming down the road here in 2 weeks on Saturday for the car and truck show. They're going to judge an overall car and an overall pickup truck.
Yep.
And each the car will get a trophy and a $1,000 gift card, correct, Joe?
Best of show.
Yep. The best of show. And then the best of show pickup gets a trophy and a $1,000 gift card.
That's correct.
Are you going to have one specific automobile as the really best of show?
No.
It's whichever one that wins.
You're going to have a best of show car, best of show truck.
That's cool.
And then they're going to take it. at the end, before we start announcing, they're going to take the top 3 cars and the top 3 pickups, and there's 3 people that's going to go to each one of these cars and going to take the scoring sheet and look at the scoring sheet and say, okay, this is overall winner. It's going to be done by the numbers too, Dave, but it's also, they're all 3 going to get another look at.
Are judges the same guys that we always have?
Yes, sir.
Last year.
Yeah, the judges last year. We do got one new judge this year, but he's been judging cars for a while. So he's been doing other shows, judging cars. So this guy's pretty sharp.
All right.
We got to remember, Dave, when we're on the radio, open your trunk. Please make sure your trunk and your hood is open.
Yeah, they're not going to ask you to do that, but you better do it because there's a whole part of the judging process that deals with your trunk
and your hood.
If it's closed, you just get zeros on it.
Yeah, if the hood's open, the engine compartment, they can't see it, they can't judge it.
That's
Same
right.
thing with the trunk. If you don't open them, you get a 0.
Mm-hmm. And it's hard to make up for a 0.
You're not going to.
Got to get a whole lot of A's to take care of the 0. 0's worse than an F. All right, just keep them. I forget how long it took my son Miles to learn that. So he would get a 0 on a test, and he'd get like 100 on the next one. And I said, well, then you got an average now of 50, and that's failing.
Yeah. But in Russell and Blake, they've been gathering stuff up all year long to make the Rat Rod Trophy. They was talking about it yesterday at the shop about, what we're going to use. They got this laid out and this laid out, and I don't have nothing to do with that. I just walk by and tell them, yeah, it looks good.
Just don't know that trophy is the most unique car and truck show trophy you can ever win.
And Dave, how that got started, I had one of my buddies went over to Memphis. He's got a Rat Rod. He's got a Volkswagen Rat Rod. It's got dual wheels on it, and it's got the train, the deal on the old train, used to come down and push the cattle off of it. It's got that on the front of it. And he had one over at Memphis in May. And he come over and he was showing me that trophy. And I walked Russell out there and I said, hey, come here and look at this trophy. We need one of these for the Rat Rod.
That's cool.
And that's how it got started. And so the first one he built, you had to have a 2-wheeler to move it around.
Hey, Val, who do we got coming up and wants to talk to us? All right. Neil from Valonia wants to talk directly to Duck. Neil.
Good morning, Neil.
Good morning, gentlemen. Well, I'd called in before. It's a 94 F250, 7.3 liter turbo. Wondering how long it's going to take and approximately a cost to replace the clutch. I had it replaced 8 years ago, but it's starting to slip again.
Do you know when they replaced it then, if they put a flywheel in it?
I'd have to go back and look at the paperwork in my drawer.
If it had
can't remember.
It should have had a flywheel in it, because that's the way you do most of them. You put a flywheel in with them. So
right.
It'll probably run you somewhere this day. Is it 4-wheel drive or 2-wheel drive?
Yeah, it's 4x4.
It'll probably run you somewhere around $2,000 to fix it, put a clutch in it and everything.
Okay.
Because if you,
right.
I'm sure when they did it before, they put a clutch kit in it with the flywheel. So all I got to do is just service the flywheel and put it back in. But I do my own servicing of the flywheels because I don't trust a whole lot of people, because if it is not flat on the machine when they do it, it'll cause a chatter on the clutch.
Understand.
All right. We appreciate your call.
If you give me a holler at the shop, they'll get you took care of.
Will do.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate you.
Thanks for the call. Again, the phone number 501-401-1011. If you want to talk to Duck, or you want to talk to Joe, or you want to talk to both of them. You get 100 years of experience if you talk to both of them.
And why I was talking about turning the flywheel, make sure it's level. I had a flywheel turned one time, put a clutch in it, and lo and behold, it was my brother-in-law's truck. And it shook. Pulled it back out, put a different clutch in it, it shook, quivered when you, and then my wife looked at me. She said, it's strange. You can fix everybody else's truck, but my brother's truck. Honey, I'm doing all I can do, you know. So come find out, their flywheel turning machine was out of level, and it cut it sideways.
Ah, okay.
The flywheel wouldn't cut level, and you know, I've learned over the years that you just don't let anybody turn your flywheel. You'll get burnt. But nowadays, a lot of times we don't even turn them. We buy one with a new flywheel in it, and you know, you clean it up, put it on, and you go on about your business. But I got chewed out many times about that clutch. I wound up putting 5 in it before I figured out what was wrong with it.
Wow.
You know, before I figured out what was wrong with it. And then once I figured out, I got it out, laid it on the ground, made sure the concrete was level, put the level on it, and there was a half a bubble out. So that's when I realized then I know what happened to it now.
There's a lot to fixing a car. I'll just tell you, fixing a car ain't what it used to be. It was pretty doggone easy because in essence, of course, a car engine is nothing more than a vacuum cleaner. It's just pulling the air in from the front and
pushing it
out the back end.
Exactly.
Just an air pump.
Just, and Dave, you'll be surprised how many of these compressors you'll see, you know, out on these oil drilling units. They'll take a V8 motor, half of it will be the air compressor, and the other half will run it. It'll run on 4 cylinders. The other 4 cylinders is making air compressor.
All right. Well, I'll take more calls, but change this year, Joe. You have some additional, breakdowns on the car show and pickup truck show that's coming up here in 2 weeks a week from Saturday.
A week from Saturday.
So you tell me, what should people know that's different this year than in previous years?
Well,
okay.
Well, let's go ahead and take the call. Who is it? Bob from Benton. We're going to get you and Bob before we take the break, so you don't have to just sit and listen to the commercials. What's going on, Bob? And
morning, Bob.
What do you need to know about?
Good morning. I've got a 2000 Wrangler that belongs to my grandson, and the rear axle is locked up all the time, like it's in locked 4-wheel drive. And we asked some Jeep expert guy, and he said it's got a spool in it, which I have no idea what a spool is. But
it does in the rear end.
We took the cover off and looked up in there. I don't see anything, but I'm not a mechanic either, but it all looks perfect. And I'm just curious, what's the solution? I want that thing to be a 2-wheel drive on the rear when we're driving it, so we don't squawk the tire all the time.
If you go in a parking lot and you turn it to the left real hard, do you hear it make noise, like a popping noise or anything?
Left or right, it squalls the tire because it's not a limited slip. It's just posy, you know.
Yeah, but what I'm asking though, if you go in a parking lot and you turn it real hard to the left and you start accelerating, do you hear it pop, like pop, 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 pop when you're turning it?
You know what? I'll have to try that and see, but I don't drive it. He does, but I'm standing there when he's driving it. I can hear it and see it. And so in any case, I'll have to try that.
So when you had the fluid out of it, what kind of fluid did you put back in it?
We put the same fluid back in there. It looked good.
Yeah.
Put the additive in it.
That's what I was fixing to say. You need to go buy your bottle additive and pour in it, and then go drive it about 30 or 40 miles.
We tried this. Somebody already told us that.
Okay.
Got some of that.
You got some clutches stuck in it then.
Yeah.
You're going to have to pull the rear end out and pull the chunk out.
It doesn't matter whether it's got spool in it or not. They all have clutches in them. And if the clutches are galled because somebody serviced it and put grease in it and the right kind of grease and everything, but you still have to put the friction reducer additive in there. Otherwise, those clutches are galled up. When they're galled up, they stick together.
And that's why it's got it locked up. Yeah. And you can pull the cover off and look at it, but you got to pull the chunk out of it and disassemble the chunk to see it.
I got you.
Then it's got to be reset and everything. The backlash.
Well, thank you for your call. Yep. Thank you. Let's get a break in.
Give me a holler at the shop.
Let's get a break in, and then we'll be back with more here on the Car and Truck Doctors. back with you, and we're into our final segment now. If you have a call that you would like to talk to Duck or to Joe about, call now so that we can get you set up. Because if you call at the last moment, we typically don't take those calls because it takes a couple of minutes to answer your questions. It's not like it's going to be a 30-second
and sometimes we got to have some more information too, Dave.
Okay, so right now, 501-401-1011. That's the phone number to get a hold of Duck and Joe. We've been talking about the car and truck show. It's going to be a car and pickup truck show for sure, because both of those types of cars can win a trophy and $1,000 gift certificate.
Yeah, and last year, green, what was it, a 70 model, Joe? 69, 70 mile pickup won it. And it was a good looking vehicle. I had to say it was and the guy had did it all himself, because I talked to him quite a bit about it. And I asked his wife, I said, you going to let him do another one? No, I got my carport back, my car garage back. He ain't putting another one in there.
Well, you know, those guys, Dave, they spend a lot of money restoring those vehicles. And you know, if you look at one and if you actually figured up the labor, time, and what their cost was on it without buying parts or anything, just their time, it's a lot of money to restore a car, and it takes a lot of time. It's a 6-8 month progress.
No, I'll tell you what really costs a lot of money is some of the paint jobs you see on these cars.
Hey, you'd be surprised, some of them people, how much they got on the interior work. Yeah. I know Tom Brown went blank here. You know, he said it ain't nothing for him to spend $18,000-$19,000 on an interior job.
Oh my gosh.
$20,000 on the interior, $25,000 on the paint.
And then you don't drive it around because you don't want to get a ding on the car.
Absolutely.
But you'd be surprised, Dave. A lot of people do drive them, don't they, Joe?
If it's sunny outside and a nice day, they're going to go for a Sunday ride.
Yeah.
Especially if it's a convertible.
Yeah. You know, and so, you know, if you're at the car show, you can look all you want, but please do not touch your vehicle.
Yeah.
You know, if you got questions about it, they're usually sitting around it. And most of them that has redone them, made it joke. They've got books there from the time they started.
They got books that shows the process.
Yeah. You know, when they bought the vehicle, they took pictures and they'll show you pictures. Hey, this is what it looked like. You know, one guy told me, he said, man, it was a bucket of rust when I bought it, but it wouldn't no more.
Yeah. You'd be surprised what Bondo can do. I'm just kidding.
But some of them do have a little Bondo in it, but they try not to put no more Bondo in it than they have to. Mainly just to smooth out the lines and everything. They'll put a little Bondo in it, you know, to make it look good. But most of them people do a lot of their work on their own. And as Joe said a while ago, it ain't nothing to have 200 or 300, 400 hours in it.
Absolutely.
Well, some of the guys that are working on those cars, you can't find some of the parts that you want. And they literally fashion their own parts to put on their cars.
I've seen them make chrome pieces for them.
It's amazing to me.
You know, and then send them down to Dallas and get them, you know, they build them and make them, they get them pretty close, and then they'll send them to Dallas and they'll finish them up down there. And then they put nickel plate on them, then they'll go through and chrome them. But I mean, you know, some of these vehicles is the older vehicles was loaded with chrome, wouldn't they, Joe? That was one of the big sellers on them. Look how much chrome it's got.
Yeah.
Back in our day.
The bumpers on some of those cars were heavy that it took a forklift to pick them up.
Exactly.
That's why everything's went to plastic. And you can go back cars that we're going to be looking at this car show, other than some of the late models that are brought in. I'm talking about the actual ones that are like frame up, ground up restoration, body off the frame, everything done. They will not be. They'll probably be over 25 to 35 years old, because the newer ones.
Yes, too much plastic.
Too much plastic. So, and you know, they're going to have trouble in years to come when those pieces are not available, because those you can't make.
Yeah. Those you pretty well. You just hope you can go to a junkyard somewhere and go looking and find one that's fairly decent that you can do some work on it. You know, I got a Honda Prius that belongs to me. I bought it and the front bumper was cracked on it. So Blake got online and found a front bumper cover already painted and everything. So I got it in. They pulled the wrong part number. it's one part number off. And around the headlights on one, mine's a 15 model, around the headlights is round kind of. Well, the one they give me is pointed.
Mm-hmm.
And I called the company and they said, no, we shipped you the right one. And then the guy called back and he said, can you go get the part number off that bumper? So I went and got him the part number and he said, hey, that's the wrong front bumper. That's for a 17 model.
You take a lot of salvage yards. They don't have older cars in them no more. When salvage got real high, they crushed them all.
They did.
And, the newer ones they're making.
Sold the metal, didn't they?
Mm-hmm,
yeah.
Exactly. They scrapped them to what they did. So it makes it hard. And I think that some salvage places are now holding on to cars longer than what they would at one time. If it was over 10 years old,
it was gone.
It's gone.
Yeah. It was gone. It was gone to the crusher.
Yeah.
But now the older cars, a lot of them, and they'll have the older cars stacked out in the back, and then all the newer stuff up front. But, you go in and say, hey, if you got a 49 Buick and that's, oh, yeah, we got one way in the rear back corner back there, then it's up to you to go walking and find it,
Yeah. When you find what you want, you come back up there and say, I need this. They'll say, all right, you want to take it off or you want us to?
Yeah. It's this price and we'll take it off. And it's this price, you take it off. And then it's up to you to get it jacked up or whatever you need to do to get it. So, and a lot of times they'd rather you take it off because if you bend it taking it off, it's your problem.
You still own it.
Yeah, it's your problem.
You bought it.
If they take it off and break it, we don't got another one. So, you go back to looking again. And a lot of people that's doing antique cars, Dave,
yeah,
they want to take it off themselves anyway.
Oh, really?
Because they want to make sure they get all the clips, all the bolts. They want to make sure they get everything that holds that piece on there with
all
them.
the original stuff that did it.
Yeah.
Well, I just see coming to judging, that's a good thing.
It is.
Because having all of those clips and bolts, if the judge sees some stuff that's missing, you got to remember that can cause a problem when you're being judged.
Yep. And we got one class, Dave, that's going to be an all original class. If the car's not been modified, if it's all original, you're going to get a different color scoring sheet. So the judge will know this is an all original car. And what we have last year, about 10 or 15 of them.
Yeah.
Last year that was all original. And so you'll be judged on how original
it is.
It is, if it's got the original seats, the original, stuff underneath the hood, the original air cleaner and all that. It's one that has not been modified, and it will win the trophy and everything too.
All right. So if you want to get registered for the show now, go to btbautoparts.com.
And look up in the right-hand corner, I think's what he told me, and there's a car up there, and you click on it, and it'll take you to the registration.
Yeah, it says Conway Expo Center.
And once you get it registered and everything, you'll pay you $20 when you come in at the car show. It's going to come up and says you are now registered. You will not get an email stating that, hey, you're registered, but it will pop up on the screen once you register your car, and that tells you that it is registered. I think James said it was going to be a green color or something other.
Okay, so the time that you can show up,
7 in the morning.
Get into the facility, be there early.
7 to 10.
Okay.
And I promise you they'll be lined up at 6 o'clock because we'll be there at 6 o'clock, but we're not going to open the door to 7. But you can go ahead and get in line. Spectators, anytime after 10 o'clock, you can come in, go walking. You can get your stuff, stuff like that. We just ask that, you wait till 10 o'clock till we get everybody in the building and everybody locked down, and everybody put up, and then you can come in, go walking. You can see anything you want to see. As Joe said, we're all got stuff to give away. There'll be some other vendors there. I think Peterson Car Manufacturing is bringing two cars in this year. Yep.
There'll be a lot of vendors from Bumper there.
Yep. I think
Standard going to be there.
I seen the AC Delco guy was there the other night at the meeting.
Guy.
Yeah, the Gates guy, the Motorcraft guy was there. Yeah. So there'll be probably 10 or 12 of them too.
Sure.
And they'll be set up on the back wall, and they'll all give stuff away.
Anybody giving away old decals?
I have no idea.
That, see, that would be cool.
You'll have to show up to find out.
Yeah, I'll be there.
Come on down.
You know, I want some eyeballs.
I'll
If
be there.
anybody else was thinking that,
Yeah.
All right.
they need to come out and visit the show and have some fun and maybe get some swag and maybe win some stuff.
All right, guys.
And we'll all be on the radio with Dave that morning from what is it?
I think we're starting at 7:00. We're to the end of the show here on this hour,
Yeah.
guy.
Come on out and see us.
Thanks
We'll
for
all
coming.
be there.
Appreciate you guys coming in this
Thanks,
morning.
Dave.
Thank you, Dave.
News is next. All right, back with you here on the Dave Ellswick Show. We move into the 8 o'clock hour. It's a Thursday. That means David Fisher will be joining us. He'll talk about what's going on in the gold and silver market. He'll talk about the economy, why things are kind of doing what they're doing, so you maybe understand why, stock market's up again. It was up yesterday. If it goes down, he'll tell you why it probably went down. David is, of course, with Landmark Gold. His internet address is Landmark Gold. That's one word, landmarkgold.com. Or you can call him at 844-604-2575. 844-604-2575. All right, so David, we've been talking about the de-dollarization and a possible sell-off in U.S. Treasuries. The IMF just came out with a report confirming that Treasuries are coming under a possible repricing due to their risk and what investors get to as a return. Why don't you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, this confirms exactly what you and I were talking about the last 3 weeks. It's been the trend for the last, 3 years. And now we have the IMF confirming this trend. What they're saying in depth here, Dave, is a couple things. Number one, it's not any new information, but when the International Monetary Fund, first let's take one step back. The IMF was established by the United States in 1945. We have the most powerful vote presence still in the IMF. So this is not a fake news thing because we have our say in it. But the world is obviously confirming what the IMF is saying in their actions, and they're selling treasuries. The IMF came out and said that two things. The government is out of control in issuing debt, and the incentive, they call it a safety premium. The incentive that you get by buying a government U.S. Treasury is not enough. In the future, this will cause a problem for the United States, is what they're saying. What does that mean? Well, let's put it into simple numbers. Last year, as I said, the dollar went down by index 9.5%, but the Treasury is paying about 4+%. So you have a guaranteed loss of an investor of 5.5% as a foreigner buying a treasury. So there's no incentive there. And that's what the IMF is pointing out. They're also going on and they say a very critical thing, that the global economy is shrinking. In January, they predicted it was going to grow 3.3%. Now they're saying it's only going to grow to a 3.1%. And they're saying this year it could go down to as low as 2% growth. And they're saying, where's the United States in this? We're only at 2.3% growth. Where's Russia? They're the number one growing country because of oil. They figured out a way, according to the IMF, to still sell oil with all these sanctions on them. And they've done this through their financial system. So it's just not a good report, but it confirms everything we've been talking about.
I heard a story yesterday. Somebody was talking about how countries like the United States, how we tell other countries, you need to straighten up and fly right, or we're going to, do this or do that to the markets. And in the end, let's say you tell Russia they can't sell oil or whatever, there's still a lot of leakage, and they're selling a lot of oil still.
Significantly, and China is still their largest buyer, and they're doing it in the yuan or the ruble, not the dollar. So this, like I've said, like a broken record, this whole idea that we're going to be able to tell them that they can't sell oil or they can't sell oil only in the dollar is just poppycock. It's not going to happen anymore. They've had a taste, and so has lots of countries had a taste of what it's like to buy and sell major commodities like oil and other things, gold and apparel and fabric. I can go through a litany of things they're selling it in their currency or buying it in their currency, not the dollar in the middle. And that's the de-dollarization. And once you have a taste of that, to support your own country, your own currency, you don't want to go back. And that's why it's going to be a very challenging thing for the world to fall back in love with our debt system and our dollar when we can't keep it under control and give them an incentive to want to own our currency, financially speaking, let alone politically speaking. That's a whole nother topic that we don't need to go down, but it's just a mess right now for the future of us trying to figure out how we're going to finance our overspending.
All right, 12 minutes after 8, David Fisher is on the air with me. And David, the stock market has been doing pretty doggone good here lately. I guess it was up a few hundred points yesterday. The stock market, the NASDAQ, everything was up. It was all green arrows yesterday. And gold and silver, they're still going up. With that in mind, for my folks that are listening in, what's the difference? Why is everybody making money and everybody's talking about, well, we got all these problems in Iran and all the rest, but everybody keeps going up. People are saying, hey, the stock market shows all these companies are making money.
Well, the sentiment is pretty low in the United States on the uncertainty of how this war will end and when it will end. It's going to end. There's no problem in it not ending. President Trump does not want a long-term war. There's no benefit to us, but it's cost money. And so there's this, we're going to end the war. We're going to have a ceasefire. We're going to negotiate. And the markets go up, both stocks and metals. Then Iran doesn't want to talk. They're saying we're not going to talk. And then the markets go down. So there's a little bit of a yo-yo environment that we're going on through because of the uncertainty. But both markets are in bull markets, stock indexes and gold and silver. And about 58% of the households own some sort of stock or have funds in the market, whether it be their 401k. So this is the economic barometer that President Trump looks at. And it's not doing well. It's not doing bad. But look, here's the numbers. So let's take a look at the comparisons between gold and silver and stock indexes, long-term, medium-term, and short-term. Long-term is a 10-year cycle, October of 2001, right after 9/11. We had it finished in October of 2011, 10 years. And here's the numbers. The S&P, the least performing, 15% in that 10-year period of time. The Dow, 32%, 10-year. NASDAQ, 10-year, 58. Ready? 642% for gold.
Wow.
Silver, 894% for silver. Yet they tell us gold and silver, some people say it's a bad investment. I dare to differ. That's long term. Medium term, 2011, October of that year is when this bull market started, 4.5 years ago. The Dow, 41%, the S&P, 55%, the NASDAQ, 66%, gold, 185%, silver, 253%. Again, people say it's not a good investment. Stocks do better. Well, I don't care how you slice the pie. Right in that during environment of 4.5 years, it was a 3-to-1 ratio. Gold and silver were outperforming the stock indexes, and the first 10 years was significantly more aggressive. But year to date, the short term, the Dow's up about 2%. The NASDAQ is up about 5.5%. The S&P is about 3.5%. Gold, 10%. Silver, 13%. Again, the short term, gold and silver outperforming the 3 stock indexes. Am I telling you to take everything out of stocks and put it into gold? No, and silver. But I'm saying you're missing the boat if you're not diversified into gold and silver physically. And here's why. We're going to get past the war, and the dollar went down, like I said, 9.5% last year. We're at 0.25%, the dollar being down year to date. That amortizes out over your 9.3%, almost identical what last year did, but gold and silver has not moved as much. So that means in reference to the dollar, gold and silver is undervalued still in the marketplace. So that's why we diversify, and that's why we talk about this.
All right, let me move on with you because there's a couple more things I wanted to bring up. You're probably getting phone calls about people who want to roll over their 401ks and their IRAs and put some money into precious metals, things of that nature. Is that a difficult procedure?
Simple. They call us, they learn about this, they get a packet from us. There's no pressure. They feel something. That's what causes them to call us. They feel what we're talking about, that they're not going to be able to pay the debt down. The dollar's going to go down. They don't feel like the dollar's going to zero because it's not, but they sense it's just not a healthy environment to manage our debt. And that's why gold and silver rallies. They're doing something, though, based upon their feeling. They're following through and learning about this. Let me tell you a quick story. There's two gentlemen that called our company in 2011, or it was 2021, 4.5 years ago. And that's why I have the numbers. They both wanted to roll over some money from retirements. One guy's name is Frank. Other person his name is Guy. And they heard me for 6 years on a radio show. And I asked them they didn't do that. And I asked them why, what was the reason? Did we offend them? Something happened? They said, well, Frank said, shortly after I called you, I had a health issue. I had to take care of that. It took me a bit, got healthy again, got busy in work, forgot all about it. And he said to me 2 weeks ago, Dave, what? Gold is what? About $2,200? I said, $2,200, Frank? It's $4,400. Now it's $4,730. He goes, what? I go, it's doubled that much, he said. I said, yes. I said, don't miss the boat. He's not missing it now. Guy, on the other hand, said that gold had moved so much, and it was kind of flattening out when he called our company. And so he said, I thought gold peaked out, but you were saying he was going to go a lot higher, and everything you said was right, but I just couldn't get my head around gold going to $4,000 or $5,000 like you were saying. And he says, obviously you're right again. He says, let's do this. So don't be a missing out person. Don't try and time this market. That's what the most people that are calling my company are not trying to figure this thing out. All you got to do is call my company. We'll help you learn about it. But obviously, by us not pressuring these two gentlemen and many others into the market, there's no pressure working with our company. We're just here to help.
All right. So you've got a special offer going on with Landmark Gold. Explain what people can do and how they can take advantage of it.
So we've never done this before any time ever in the history, and we're doing it on your show. Many of your listeners have called, but some are still reluctant to call and trying to figure this thing out. Let me make this simple. For a limited time, for qualified accounts, when you move a portion of your 401k or IRA or all of it into physical gold with Landmark Capital, we are, at the time of trade, I'm going to talk to you and I'm going to discount your trade to offset as a thank you and as an incentive to offset the initial setup costs and to, help your portfolio. So you don't need to figure this out. You don't need to figure out what that is. We have it all figured out. And just call us, mention Dave's program. It's no gimmicks, no pressure, only benefits. Everybody hearing my voice that has an IRA or 401k with $10,000 or more, everyone will benefit. So why wouldn't you want to make that call and get your portfolio? You learn about it first, but if you did something, you probably have a better upside potential in gold and silver, much more based upon the numbers I shared with you. Why wouldn't you want to learn about that and get that free packet? So just call us. We'll help you. Don't miss the boat. Don't try and time the market. Buy gold and wait. Don't wait to buy gold.
And while you're at it and you're talking to them on the other end, ask for the 2 free white papers that they have available to you. The Golden Era that has a silver lining, and then the other one is BRICS. And that's something you really need. That's a de-dollarization we were talking about. BRICS, the new financial system that could dethrone the U.S. dollar as the global reserve currency. Phone number to call, 844-604-2575, 844-604-2575, or visit David online or one of his associates at Landmark Gold. That's one word, landmarkgold.com. Hey, David, thanks a lot. You had a whole lot of stuff there in 20 minutes.
Thank you so much, Dave. It's always my pleasure. Great to be with you always.
All right. We'll talk to you again next week. It's 8:22, time to take a break. Let's do that. Then we'll come back and finish up this half hour. Then we'll have our news dump for you from 8:35 until 9 o'clock. All right. It's 8:24 here on a Thursday. This week's been going fast. I'm happy to see that we're into Thursday, and tomorrow then we're get ourselves all set up for the weekend. Just on a personal note, I've got to call David after I get off the air today. I get home, and I got a 401k. I've got two 401ks, in fact, and the one is with another organization, and I want to talk to them about rolling over some of that money into silver and gold, and I want to talk to them and find out, what percentage should I do, silver to gold, that type of thing. So, I just want you to know that, I don't put people on dealing with, different things, products, and not use them. I have used every product that you've heard on this show. Joe's Garage has been my technicians of choice since 2000 when I got here to Little Rock. I've been friends with Joe for many, many years, and we got him started on the car and truck doctors, and we brought Duck in because we wanted somebody who could talk about diesels, and he's done a great job over the years, over 20 years doing that. So I can just tell you the quality of results you'll get from our advertisers on the Dave Ellswick Show is high. It's very high. And if they're not pleasing me, I'll guarantee you we'll do something to make sure they either please me or they won't please anybody. At least they won't hear about them here on the show. All right. Want to talk. I've got about 4 minutes, so we can talk about this over this 4 minutes. Yesterday, I got a hot news flash from about 8 different sources saying that the Trump administration is going to change the category of marijuana from a number 3 to a number 1. Now, number 1 that you're going to is like, a lot of over-the-counter drugs that you can just go to the store and buy. Number 3 is like, heroin is on number 3. And so you got to, you can't buy it. It's not legal. I think when they go to number 1, it takes away the illegality of marijuana. And there's some changes that need to happen here in the States about marijuana. It's become a huge business, and companies are, dealing with inordinate high amounts of money. But because marijuana is illegal, they can't put that money in banks. It causes a problem.
There's so many different things.
So they're going to move it down to category 1.
But still not legal on the federal level. It's not legal. Like,
it won't be like you buy an aspirin. Let's put it that way.
No, it's basically going to pave the way for medical research, pave the way for banking institutions to actually accept money, because this is a cash only based business at this point.
Yep.
The possessions, that's the thing is that going to clear out prisons? So how's that going to work? So, because there's so many people in prison right now for marijuana. That's going to be huge. When I had my own show on the other, I had Asa Hutchinson on before he was governor. We talked about this. That was in 2012.
Yeah, they've been talking about this for quite some time.
Well, that was when they sent a letter to Obama saying that this is ridiculous and we need to change the schedule from, it's not like heroin, you know what I mean? Like, and then you had Trump come in with Jeff Sessions, and Sessions said he would never, ever do that. And so I'm glad that we got rid of Sessions, but I think this is great news. I really do. Like it's crazy that to think that this would be actually legalized. So we need to find out all the implications. Like, what does this do for all the laws? Making medical marijuana, is it just medical? There's so many questions.
Okay, I'm going to put you in charge of getting us somebody who can talk to us about that.
Maybe Asa.
I mean, we need somebody to discuss this all with us, and because I think the biggest benefit out of this is going to be banks can take in the money now,
and your business tax relief. Like it eliminates the IRS Section 280E, allowing state legal cannabis businesses to deduct regular business expenses and lowering their tax burden. So all these dispensaries haven't been able to do any kind of that stuff,
Well, like I said, I agree with you. It shouldn't have been a Category 3 drug in the first place.
Mm-mm.
It should not have been.
But it's still not recreational legal yet.
Yeah, I mean, I understand Category 3 when you're talking heroin and cocaine.
That's
and
crazy,
things of
right?
that nature. I can understand having it, that type of punishment and things dealing with it, but not grass. I just don't see.
And for
it doing
people
that
say
way.
he's trying to. Well, we got to get to news, but we got to get to news.
All right, let's go to news, and then we'll come back talk more. 8:34 on the Dave Ellswick Show, and we were just talking about it has not happened yet. Understand, this hasn't happened yet. Yesterday, I got a notification from the federal government that they were going to categorize marijuana as a type 1 drug, not a type 3 type drug.
It actually happened this morning.
Oh, they did it today? Okay, so they got it.
Todd Blanche sent out it. There was a tweet on there that they've also set a hearing for June 29th, I believe.
Okay. Is the hearing for people to say why they think this is a good thing or why they think it's a bad time?
Let me get this. Hang on just a second.
You know, I haven't looked at my emails lately, so or text, so I don't know.
Well, you've been busy.
Yeah. I have to admit, I cannot talk on the radio and run through my text. I just can't do that. If I start reading somebody's text, my mouth shuts up.
Yeah. 6 minutes ago, Trump officially reclassifies medical marijuana as lower risk drug. So we got breaking news.
Okay. That's what we wanted to hear. So this is going to change a lot of things. The biggest thing I think that it changes is that the dispensaries and that have been out there, whether it's just medical marijuana or it's medical and recreational or whatnot, have not been able to put their money in a bank because it's illegal to put an illegal substance or money that you made off of an illegal substance. Then they've now changed that, and they're going to be able to put their money in the bank, and that's just going to help this whole industry grow ever larger. Is what it's going to do. Going to make it get bigger, and you know, it's something that Arkansas is going to have to reevaluate, as well as a lot of other states about you know, lifting criminal penalties and things of that nature off of marijuana. So we'll get somebody to come on and talk specifically about that. The pros and the cons. We'll give you both sides of the issue because there's always some cons on stuff like this. I mean, if you say that marijuana is not a really dangerous drug like heroin or cocaine or you know, lithium or whatever it is that's your drug of choice at times, then more people are going to try it. They will give a try to it. I don't know what the percentage is there in the United States of people who on just a recreational level use marijuana. I don't know what the percentage is. Is it 30%, 50%, 75%? I don't know. We need to get some information on all of that. I will tell you, when I was a much younger man, I was smoking marijuana then. I haven't touched marijuana in ages. Just I don't do it for a lot of places. If they would call you in for what we call the golden flow test, checking your urine to see if there's any THC in your urine or whatever, it can cost you your job. That's something that a lot of people have lost their jobs over,
or not been able, or not
that.
work, because it is addictive. It is addictive, but it helps people. It does help people with depression. It helps people that have cancer to eat when they don't feel like eating. It does have some health medicinal properties in it, and I just think it's crazy that so many people are in prison, so many people not being able to work, yet nobody in DC has to take a drug test to get a job there. That's crazy, but they make a law of making everybody else, which anyway, that's a whole nother conversation. But, this literally, I'm 52 years old. And so 50 years, people have been punished for using this. And that's just insanity.
Well, and the gentleman who was in charge of setting up the category of drugs wanted to make sure that marijuana was a category 3. And we know from history, from things that they've read, that this gentleman wrote, letters that he wrote to people, things of that nature, that part of his problem was a racist problem. He was going after black people. Yeah, as far as this went on. I mean, that's happened with drugs several times. I mean, it's like if you have powder cocaine, you don't go to jail as long as if you use the little rocks of cocaine. And that's what typically the urban areas were using. And so they were sending people away for a long, long time. There's a lot of things that, we can talk about dealing with this that has been a problem over the years. I think it's the right move. I think it's the right time to go ahead and move forward with this whole situation dealing with marijuana.
Not only that, but they're going to tax it, and so look at all the taxes they've been missing.
Well, there's other things they could tax as well, and I think that's money that we can miss. I mean, I don't want to see them legalize prostitution,
no,
so that they can tax it.
No,
you know what I'm saying? So there's reasons of why marijuana should have some restrictions on it. I don't have any problem with that at all.
No, I think there should be some restrictions. Like, I don't think you should. Like, I was in San Francisco, like in 2013, when it first became legal there. I guess it was probably 2013, around that. And gosh, you could just downtown where it's now. It was beautiful down there. Now it's just full of homeless people. But everywhere you walked, you could just smell people smoking out.
Yeah, and
it was like, oh, I don't want to. Like, I don't
like that. I don't want that to happen.
Kids shouldn't be walking through that, just like they shouldn't walk through cigarette smoke.
Yeah, it's just it's a bad,
and I don't want to smell
bad situation. But by the bottom line is, I think that the Trump administration is doing the right thing, moving it from 3 to 2 to 1, just because of the banking situation. Banks are put in really a tough situation,
mm-hmm.
and so are stores dealing
cash
in the cities. All right, in the cities, let's say you're in Missouri. Missouri has recreational
mm-hmm.
marijuana. You can drive right across the border and drive into Branson, and there's 6 or 7 dispensaries there, and they do big booming business.
Right.
All right, that's happening. As far as marijuana goes, I just think it's the cat's out of the bag as far as that. Should have some controls, but not the kind of controls that you have on heroin and cocaine and LSD,
right,
and all of those things. I mean, I think it's interesting that they're starting to recategorize some psychedelics because they're finding using micro doses of LSD and of psilocybin and things of that nature are helping mental patients. And they're helping a lot of veterans that have PTSD and things of that nature. So, you got to be, I think you got to be willing to change your views on some things when information comes out that makes it smart to make the changes. So anyway. That's
it shouldn't have been considered as one of the most dangerous drugs. That's just crazy to me. It's always been.
During the time, you got to remember when Reefer Madness came out and all of that, that was in the late 40s, early 50s. And, people just were given bad information is what they were given. They were given very bad information. But I don't think people should be going to jail for that. If you're moving a lot, then I think that you should probably face some jail time they they come into your house and they find 15 pounds of marijuana. It's kind of hard to say that. Well, I got that for personal use. Although I know some people, to be honest with you, that they probably go through 30 pounds a year in marijuana.
That's a lot.
They are big time.
I probably know some people like that too.
They're heads. That's what they are. They're just heads. All right, so let's take a look at some other stories are out there that we need to talk to you about. I'm moving over to them right now. Let's see. There we go. All right, let's go back to the big news stories for today. And, nothing new dealing on Iran. The blockade says Trump scares them even more than the bombings that we've done. Essentially, what we're doing is financially strangling them until they give in. Discussing when the war might end is a moving target right now. Trump said there was, quote, no time frame and no rush. Quote, people say I want to get it over because of the midterms. Not true, Trump stated, adding that the administration wanted to, quote, get a good deal for the American people, unquote. The blockade scares them even more than the bombing does. They've been bombed for years, but the blockade they hate. Once those wells go down, sometimes they are down for good, Trump added. An earlier assessment of the economic cost on Iran of the blockade would inflict heavy economic losses on Iran, cutting roughly $280 million a day in export revenues and disrupting another $160 million a day that you need to know. I just lost the story. I got to get back to it now. Where is it? My phone is giving me all kinds of problems today. It always happens that way. All right. There we go. Now I can get to it. All right. Trump added that the administration wanted to get the best deal for the American people they could. Trump said of the Iranian regime, quote, they've been bombed for years, the blockade they hate. Once those wells go down, sometimes they're down for good. An earlier assessment of the economic cost on Iran was $280 million a day in export revenues and disrupting another $160 million in imports. That amounts to a combined impact of about $435 million per day, or nearly $13 billion per month. Iran's vulnerability is significant. More than 90% of Iran's $109.7 billion in annual trade passes through the Persian Gulf, while oil and gas generate around 80% of export earnings and account for 23.7% of their GDP, or gross domestic product. Mark Penn writing, ultimately, the president made the decision to de-escalate direct combat and focus on economically strangling the regime by $500 million a day. And if the IRGC strikes out at American ships or soldiers, the U.S. is positioned to inflict massive retaliation. Our military force grows stronger each day. So we're in the catbird seat. That's where we're at right now. It's just, I don't know how long it's going to take for the Iranian government will be able to pull themselves together, have a coalition that can make decisions for the country and, sign the necessary paperwork so that Trump says, that we won and it's over with. And then gas prices over the next couple of months from that will come down significantly. 8:49, a break and final break of this hour, and then we'll come back and continue on talking here on the Dave Ellswick Show. All right, let's talk about the internal workings of Iran right now, because that's what's holding everything up, basically. Because you don't have one group of the government that is making the decisions. One power center to watch is the current head of the IRGC, the Islamic Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps, Ahmed Vahidi. He has shown little interest in cooperating with any ceasefire. Some have speculated that he's the man in charge. When you want to find out what's going on in Iran, you turn to some of the websites in Israel. The Israel's media line says that Ahmad, recently elevated to lead Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, is now emerging as a central figure in Tehran's decision-making on war and diplomacy. As analysts warn, his rise signals a shift toward a more hardline posture. Analysts say the appointment places significant authority in the hands of a figure long associated with Iran's external operations and security apparatus. The Foundation for Defense of Democracy says that he is also linked to the 83 Beirut barracks bombing that killed 241 U.S. service members, the 1996 U.S. service members that were killed in other actions during that time, the 1996 Khobar Towers attack, and the 2008 embassy attack in Yemen. The Institute for the Study of War talks about the Iranian parliament speaker says to be engaged in a serious intra-regime debate with Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps commander and other senior regime officials opposed to negotiations with the United States. This sounds so much like Japan now. It sounds like Japan. You had the people who wanted to make peace with the United States, and it took a move by His Imperial Majesty in Japan to get it happen. But you had all the Banzai people and the Bushido Code people that literally wanted everybody in Japan to fall down on their swords and fighting the Americans. But that didn't happen, thank God. This guy looks like he's engaged in a serious intra-regime debate with Islamic Revolutionary Guards Corps and other senior regime officials who are opposed to, we ain't going to, we're not going to give in to those Yankees kind of stuff, to the great Satan. He's publicly defended negotiations on Iranian state television. He did that on April 18th, arguing that diplomacy with the U.S. alongside military power is necessary to secure Iran's objectives. And see, nobody's saying what their objectives are. The only two objectives that we're sure of is, one, they want an atomic weapon, and we've told them they're not going to get an atomic weapon. And secondly, an intercontinental ballistic missile, where if they could get their hands on an atomic weapon, that they could deliver it anywhere in the world. And we're going to take that out of their hands as well. We'll have to watch them when this is over with, because that's what North Korea is working on all the time, is the targeting and the distance of the missiles that they make, and can they get one and drop it in the middle of Washington D.C. or something? That would change a lot of things. As far as the nuclear clock goes, Val, it means that we would be like 10 seconds to midnight. if some people that are crazy like this, you get a nuclear weapon. So it's imperative that we keep their hands off of one of those. All right, we're going to be talking with our good friend from Israel and lives here in the United States now, and that's Enrico. He'll join us after the news. There's a lot of things that we can talk to him about and find out what's going on in Israel, how the people feeling about what's going on with Iran, and what's their feeling about when they think that maybe all of this is going to end. We can talk to him about that. Matt Smith is on deck. He'll be coming in the last hour to talk to us about movies and all other kinds of things. I mean, he was just in Vegas where they had the big meeting of all the studios and showing all of their movies that they're going to have for this summer, over the holidays and wintertime, and into the spring of next year. Time for me to get out of the way and get to the news that's coming up here on the Dave Ellswick Show. getting everything ready to go. So anyway, I did want to bring up something here just before we bring Enrico on, and I want to talk about the space program just for a moment. They're saying that by 2034, we're going to go to Mars. 2034. It's 2026. That's 8 years.
Yeah, that's nothing.
That's close now. It's really close. It's really amazing. I mean, it'd be like when Kennedy said that we should put a man on the moon before, the next decade, and everybody's saying, "Ooh, can we do that?" Well, yeah, you do whatever you want if you put your mind to it. So that's why the Artemis 3 that lands on the moon again. By the way, they're not landing in the same area, the Sea of Tranquility and all of that. That's not where they're going back to. They're going towards one of the poles. I think it's the South Pole, if I'm not mistaken, because they think that's where the water, frozen water is, which would be really important to get a hold of because you can make oxygen out of it. And that's what they're looking at, for the new I guess what do we want to call it? I might as well just call it our farthest Air Force base. They want to build a pad. They want to build a group of people, a small city on the face of the moon now.
I think everything is possible, especially if you're an American.
Yeah,
honestly.
I think that's true. Absolutely. I have no doubt about that at all. Enrico is here. It's always good to have him come by and talk with us. You and was it Justin?
Yep.
That were here. The reason I remember his name is because that's my son-in-law's name, and so I can remember it. That's as far as that's concerned. So, talking to you, what do you think now about what's going on with Iran from an Eastern point of view? What's your thoughts?
Well, first of all, I wanted to say I know we have some listeners from northern Wisconsin.
Oh,
today.
really?
So, hey, Wisconsiners, is that how you say it? So, hey, everyone who's listening.
You can say, hey, cheeseheads, what's up?
Funny enough, though, I got to tell you, the best ever. What do you call the French onion soup?
Yeah.
I've ever had was in Wisconsin.
Really?
Ever. I mean,
that's cool.
In my previous job, I used to, my partners, the Hillel partners that I worked with were in Wisconsin, some of them. So I used to travel to Wisconsin, at least a few times a year. That was the best French onion soup I've ever had. They have a thing with cheese, right? It's like a cheese thing.
I mean, it's like the capital of cheese in Wisconsin. I mean, I grew up in the north, just shy of Chicago. So I went to Wisconsin a lot. I like Wisconsin. I love cheese.
Yeah. I mean, Milwaukee to Chicago is what, about an hour and a half?
Yeah, an
hour and a half. Nice. Well, just wanted to say that. Hey, Wisconsiners. Iran. Okay, so the ceasefire was extended until Sunday, right?
Right.
Which I think is a good thing overall. I think is a good thing. Trump is testing the waters, which is, again, one of his specialties. I got to give it to the guy. I mean, he knows how to play ball. Just looking at, he took down that the ship, right? Was it yesterday, 2 days ago?
Yeah, the one that was over in, what was it, the Arabian Sea?
Right, yeah. So, he's not playing. He's telling you guys, hey, any ship that's going through Hormuz, any ship that's going to try, we're going to take you out.
Right.
And he did it.
And if it's full of oil, we're not going to sink you. We're just going to take
you.
We're going to take you as a ship.
We're just going to take the ship and the oil. So thanks, y'all. It's incredible to see those power moves, those power plays. And he even said it, when was it? Like last night or earlier yesterday, I don't need an agreement to achieve my goals, which honestly made me stop and think for a second. He really doesn't. Because when you think about it, does he need an agreement to really achieve his goals? I mean, he does not, right? And he's achieving a lot of his goals even during the ceasefire, because he's basically showing you, look, all right, I'll give you a 2-week ceasefire, but during that ceasefire, I'm going to show you exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah, and we're going to hold, and we're not going to let up on the blockade.
Right. And he strategically positioned, U.S. carriers and all that in a way that now he completely controls the Strait of Hormuz.
Strait of Hormuz, yeah.
Completely controlled. So now he's basically limiting all supply. Look at me. All supply to. Sometimes I listen to myself, as I speak, and I'm like, did I just say all? But anyway, yeah.
I've never heard of a Hebraic Arkansan. I'm not. Let's face it. You don't think that you have an accent. Not you, but Arkansans don't think that they have an accent. They think everybody else has an accent.
I mean, if you ask my wife, she'll tell you, "Oh, I loved Enrico's accent when we just met." Because obviously I have an accent. I know I have an accent, but it is a lot softer than it was, 11, 12 years ago. I spoke with a legit Israeli kind of Italian accent, a mix. People wouldn't be able to point it, because Israelis.
Wow. Italian Israeli accent.
Yes.
I can't even get my hands around that.
Seriously, people wouldn't be able to. They're like, what is your accent? Because it's clear that you have one.
Right.
But we can't pinpoint it to a specific area. So, because, growing up, my grandparents kind of spoke Italian to us, and Hebrew is my native language. So and then I lived in Italy before I moved to the U.S. So it's a little bit of a combination of both. Because the Israeli accent is very distinguishable, right? Like you can definitely tell. But mine is kind of a combination of both. But anyway, back to all. But he's limiting all supply to China, right? So now China is in trouble. I mean, when you look at it, it's a genius play, right? Now China is in trouble. As far as Russia is concerned, right? Like they're kind of in trouble too. He's basically playing chess while the rest of the world is playing checkers. I mean, that's what it feels like, because again, you got to look at the bigger picture. Ceasefire, no ceasefire. I think at this point, it doesn't even matter, because look at Hezbollah in Lebanon. They basically broke this ceasefire, this joke of a ceasefire on day one, right? Israel is actively in Lebanon. It has troops 12 kilometers into the Lebanese border, right? In the Lebanese villages. The Lebanese government can't really stop Hezbollah, right, from continuing to be a terrorist organization, but the U.S. and nobody else in the world is going to stop Israel, right? Because it's also in the U.S. best interest to let Israel do what it's doing.
Yeah.
Hezbollah is and I think I said it on the air in the past, but I want to say it again. You guys have to remember, these terrorist organizations, and you know this way better than I do, they do not operate in a silo.
No,
they don't just exist in Lebanon, right? When you're talking about Hezbollah, it's not just this bubble that exists thousands of miles across the oceans, right? Like that is this imaginary thing that Americans have to contextualize, right?
Right.
It's here. They have cells in the U.S., guys. They're just sleeper cells. You just don't know it yet. But they're here. They have extensions in the U.S. and all over the Western world. If you think it's this beast that exists somewhere in the Middle East and it can't touch you, think again.
Yeah, they're already everywhere.
They're everywhere.
They really are.
And the reason why I keep saying it is because for some reason there's this American sense of just complacency, right? Americans just, it's kind of like the Newton law of motion, right? Like an object at rest stays at rest unless
something affects it from outside itself.
Right. That is more powerful than it,
right?
That is bigger, more powerful than it. In the U.S., here in America, and justifiably so, and I love it that we can afford being this complacent, right? That we can wake up in the morning and say, okay, I'm just going to go sit at my favorite coffee shop and go to work and not ever have to think about any of this.
Yeah, because I don't have to worry about somebody raining missiles down on me.
Right. But you do have to worry about people trying to take you from within.
Yes.
You do have to worry about that. And it's a slow takeover. Guys, it is a slow takeover, but it is persistent. Radical Islam, and I say radical specifically because, look, I have a lot of Muslim friends. I have nothing against Islam. It's not about Islam. It's about Islamists. It's about radical Islam. The problem is even those small percentages mean hundreds of millions of them across the world. So again, I apologize to all of my Muslim friends because I love them dearly and they're good people that just want to put food on their tables and be good citizens. But we have a problem. The world has a problem. And Americans have to wake up. They have to wake up. Hey guys, it's here. And while you're sitting in your coffee shops, sipping on your matchas and lattes and, frappuccinos, and I don't even want to tell you my wife's ridiculous Starbucks order. Seriously, she's even ashamed of going to a Starbucks and having to say it out loud. She just orders it in advance because she's like, I'm not going to say it. One time, Val, my wife, gives me this. He's like, hey, are you going to Starbucks? Because I like their nitro cold brew.
Okay.
Right. I really love Starbucks nitro cold brew. It's like, hey, you're going to Starbucks, get me something. Get me my order. And I'm like, babe.
You make you say it?
I'm an Italian. I'm not going to. You don't drink coffee. You drink milkshake with a little bit of caffeine in it.
It's the truth.
A little coffee with her sugar.
Exactly. This is. I mean, if my wife is listening in right now, she's actually in Birmingham, Alabama, doing her thing. But if she's listening right now, because she usually tunes in, she says, "Hey, can you go get me this?" I'm like, absolutely no, because I'm an Italian. They're going to take away my citizenship, my Italian passport.
Right.
If I go into a Starbucks and I start ordering whatever this atrocity is that you drink.
What
is it? It can't be that bad.
It is bad, Val. You know what? Next week when I come on the air, I'm going to bring her order with me because I don't even remember it. It's so many things. And caramel, salted caramel, this, vanilla, sugar-free, this, and all the 3 pumps of that. And this type of way. It's basically this jug. It's this jug of something that looks ridiculous. And I tell her, babe, you just don't drink coffee. You don't like coffee. It's okay. You don't have to like coffee. Not everyone likes coffee. Well, you know what she got me for, as a present to start when I started this position here in Arkansas? She got me my dream coffee espresso machine. And it's an Italian brand. It's mechanic. I grind my own coffee. I'm kind of an amateur barista, right?
Okay.
Like I grind my own, I source my beans, I grind my beans, I weigh them, I get all that stuff.
But help me here that you don't paint pictures with cream in the foam, do you?
No, I don't, but I'll tell you even more than that. In Italy, it is not culturally accepted to drink coffee with milk in it after 11 in the morning.
Really?
So, yes.
Why is that?
I don't even know why. Maybe it's like a digestive thing.
Okay.
But if you go to any bar, when in Italy, cafes are called bars, right?
Okay.
Like it's a bar. So you go to a cafe and you order a cappuccino, you order anything like that. After 11 o'clock, they know you're not Italian.
Right.
They know you're a tourist and you're not Italian because after 11, it's espresso. At most, cafe lungo, which means a long espresso, basically. Like it's a long espresso. But anyway, making a long story short, we go sit in our coffee shops and we completely forget about everything that happens around us. And we live in this silo. And one of my mentors, actually, Scott Kaufman, he's the CEO of the Jewish Federation of Greater Miami, right? And it's a unique federation in that sense because it's a large Israeli population in Miami, right? So unlike anywhere else in the country where it's mostly Jewish American, Down in Miami, it's mostly Israeli American, right? So you can probably imagine the change in culture, change in mindset, right? Because now most of your biggest donors are not necessarily just Jewish Americans. They're Israelis that are telling you, like, hey, security is at the top of our... It's important. So, and I really, really wouldn't be more like him. He's an absolute rock star. And every time I encounter some challenges, I say, hey, Scott, he's kind of like my sounding board, right? Hey, how would you handle that? He was the CEO of the Detroit Jewish Federation for many years. And
wow.
It was a tough federation to run.
That's a long way from Miami.
Exactly. So you can probably imagine when they asked him to go lead the federation in Miami, they knew what they were doing. He's an absolute rock star. But I asked him, like, hey, how would you attack some of these? And he would tell you, look, we have to put the emphasis on our people, on security. And he uses this term that I stole, actually. It's called de-silofication.
Okay.
We have to break down those silos, because up until now, and look, I will say this because I'm not the only one who says it at this point. Other most prominent, dominant Jewish leaders in the country are saying this, and they've shifted their mindset into, hey, we got to change something, because we thought we were doing something right, but clearly we failed, right? So we have to change the way we think. We cannot operate in silos anymore. We can't just be our own community with our own things that just, put almost like, those like horse blinds and not see what's happening around us. So this process of de-silofication, breaking down those silos, becoming a lot more involved with our overall surroundings and overall community, because we are Americans. Regardless of what, you want to call yourself a Jewish American, you want to call yourself an Israeli American, the key word here there is American.
That's right.
We are Americans. And Israelis, I can tell you, love America. We don't just love America, we appreciate it, and we want to be more like it, and we value everything and that we share together. Because when you look at Israel and you look at all the impossible things that it's done, right? How is Israel a startup nation, an innovation nation, right? Well, most people would also tell you it's divine intervention, right? Like, it's basically, it's just because there's no other way to explain it. Did we win all these impossible wars that were forced upon us? God only knows, right? But also because we were forced into this, sink or swim mentality, right? To us, it's all we got to push forward.
Right.
We ignore the background noise.
You have to win.
We have to win. Losing is not an option.
All right. You got to take a break. Hold your thoughts. We'll come back. 9:24, Dave Ellswick Show. We got Enrico here in the studio. We'll continue talking to him in just a moment on the Dave Ellswick Show. All right, we've got 27 minutes after 9 o'clock on a Thursday. It is already Thursday. Tomorrow, Friday.
Yeah.
Leading into the weekend. I'm looking forward to that. Tonight, they'll start the NFL draft. That's always a great thing to tune into and watch. So I'll be doing that. I got my Indiana hoodie on today and showing off Mendoza. So he's going to be the number one draftee, and going to be great to see that happen. It's a monumental time for the University of Indiana as far as what they've done with their football program, winning the national championship, having a Heisman Trophy winner, and now having him be probably the number one guy that they're going to be talking about tonight on ESPN and all the other sports stations around the United States. Enrico is here inside the studio. We're talking to him about what's going on in Iran. I want him to give us his viewpoint because I'm going to tell you what, the way he views it is different than the way you and I view it. We got 1 minute left here. The IRGC seems to have still a lot to say over in Iran. They don't want to do anything with the United States.
Right.
They want to just cause chaos, and that's what they've been trying to do. Do we have to snuff them out completely before we can, is that the way we have to deal with these people?
I would, yeah. I think we do. Well, what's the alternative, right?
Yeah, they're going to want to fight all the time.
They have proved to us time and time again that they cannot be trusted. No deal can work with them long term. And their agenda is destructive to the Western world. So I would ask you, what's the alternative?
All right, and we'll talk about that when we come back. It's time for the news. We went long in the first segment, so we'll go short in the second. Time for the news. Here it is. All right, back with you on the Dave Ellswick Show. Enrico is here. Let me. I left him with the question: what do we do with the Iranian, the IRGC, the Iranian Republican National, was it Guard or whatever? They got a special name for them. Bottom line, their army, the head of the army, still has a lot of say in what's going on in that country. Although I saw some pictures today of a major metropolitan area falling to the citizenry, that they'd taken over the city.
Earlier today?
Yeah.
All right.
So
Okay.
that says a lot right there. There maybe, just maybe, the people are beginning to rise up now.
Good. Well, first things first, I have to apologize to the people of Wisconsin because apparently I didn't say So shout out to all of our listeners from Wisconsin. They're not called what I call them. They're called
Wisconsiners.
Wisconsinites.
Wisconsinites. All right.
Yes.
Well, that sounds right because they have those leanings towards socialism. So Wisconsinites sounds all right.
Wisconsinites. My office manager just texted me. He said, "Hey, because she's originally from Wisconsin, and a lot of her friends and family listen to the show because I'm on the show." And she said, "By the way, we're called Wisconsinites." So I was like, I apologize to the people of Wisconsin.
They also call you comrade, but that's all right.
I
apologize to them for me.
Yeah. IRGC. I mean, look, here's what we're dealing with. First of all, incredible. If the Iranian people are in fact starting to take over, that is incredible news to the free world. I will say, even here in Arkansas, we're making strides because last weekend when Justin and I were here, immediately after the show, we drove up to Northwest Arkansas. One of the reasons why we wanted to drive up there was because our Hillel students, they had a Hillel Shabbat dinner at the University of Arkansas, and they also that same day on Friday, Dave, guess this, they tabled on campus in support of Israel with an Iranian student.
Oh, wow. That'd be cool.
Which was absolutely incredible. So I don't know if I told. Oh, I did tell you. The weekend before that, I took two students from University of Arkansas to the Student Supporting Israel conference in Denver, and it just goes to show when we empower our students, when we actually tell them, "Hey, we're with you, right? Like we have your back." They organized tabling on campus, on the campus green, with an Iranian student, and we met that Iranian student that Friday because she came to the Shabbat dinner, and she was so wonderful, right? It just goes to show the Iranian people and the Israeli people have so much in common, and we absolutely support each other. Just like Justin was talking about last weekend or last Thursday about Silas, great, right? We owe a debt to the Iranian people, and this is how we see it. We're basically saying, hey, we owe you one, right? And we're going to pay back. And it means a lot to us because going back to the IRGC, look, you're dealing with irrational people. You're dealing with people that want your destruction. It's a basically bigger scale. The same with the Palestinian cause in Israel. There is no peace. How can you negotiate peace with someone that tells you, I kind of just don't want you to exist?
Yeah, we want to kill you.
Yeah. The only acceptable deal for us is a deal where you don't exist. Or, you could also be our slave. You could also just be a really, really not even a second or third or fourth class citizen. You could also just worship us and be our slave. That would also work.
Yeah.
Hey, does that work for you?
No,
that doesn't really work for me. So again, time and time and time and time again. Now, I also read this interesting article yesterday about Maddie Friedman by Maddie Friedman. Sorry. I spoke a lot of Hebrew earlier this morning, talking to my family, so English is a little kickstarting my English this morning. But it was an article by Matty Friedman where he basically goes into describing what the Palestinians are doing right now, how they're using a lot of the things that on our side, on the Jewish side, are based in truth and facts, right, in history, right, like the Holocaust. So now he's saying, just like if you deny the Holocaust, you're a Holocaust denier. If you're denying the genocide, that, quote unquote genocide that Israel is committing against the Palestinians, Gaza, you're a Gaza genocide denier, right? Which is absolutely absurd to me. And it's insane that some people are actually entertaining this notion. Guys, look at your history. Open your history books. How many times did Israel try to negotiate with the Palestinians? Palestinians, a term that was coined back in the late 60s. I mean, it's, again, nobody is even asking themselves, what is a Palestinian, right? That's
because people get it mixed up in their mind with Philistine.
Right. And you know what? Again, 3 days ago, and I'm sad to report this. This is really sad. Here in Arkansas, in Hot Springs, Congregation House of Israel was vandalized. Graffiti on the synagogue saying there will be no peace as long as Israel exists. Here in Arkansas, at the University of Arkansas, back in October, on October 7th, the Students for Justice in Palestine did a martyr walk on October 7th. So I call every good American citizen, reasonable, common sense thinking people. Mm-hmm. Guys, we need your help. We need everyone to wake up because we can't keep ignoring this. This is a problem. Anti-Semitism is a problem, and it's a problem everywhere, not just in New York, not just in Chicago, not just in LA anymore. It's right here in states like Arkansas, states like Mississippi, states like Tennessee. It is right here, and we need your help because we're on the same side. We are on the same side. We're Americans. And so if you take this Palestinian question and you ask yourself, okay, has Israel tried to have peace with the Palestinians? 1,000,000 times yes, right? What technically still is trying to have peace with the Palestinians. Can you have peace with the IRGC? Let's just scale it up. Let's blow it up in, Western world, Iranian, threat, existential threat. Can we actually have a deal with the IRGC?
Not while they're in power.
Not while they're in power, and absolutely not one that long-term will benefit the U.S. or the Western world, because all they're going to do is do everything in their power to oppress their own people and have nukes again.
They're going to do what the Iranians have done in the past.
Mm-hmm.
This has been going on almost 50 years now.
Right. I mean, everything can be scaled up and scaled down, right? You can look at the macro level, you can look at the micro level. In this case, I would say I guess it's not really micro level, but it's a regional level. Look at Israel, look at its neighbors, look at what's going on. Now, look at what actual peace looks like the Abraham Accords, right? Look at what happens with the UAE and how Israel and the UAE now have great relationships, commerce, business, flights in and out of Tel Aviv and the UAE. And that's what peace looks like. And then look at what the UAE, the Arab countries, are saying about their own people, about the IRGC. And look at what the Saudis are saying about it. This is what I said in the air about 2 weeks ago. Pay close attention to what the UAE is saying. They got their own people. Guys, just like we just talked about, you can expand it to the macro level, but what happened back in 2005 when Hamas took over the Gaza Strip? That's the regional micro level. What did it do to its own people? To its own Palestinians? Same people. Different mindset? Oh, it's a different party in the Palestinian Authority? Okay, I'm going to throw you off rooftop buildings and parade your body in the streets of Gaza. This is happening on the larger scale too with the IRGC. It's the same mentality, Dave. It's the same concept. You can scale it up, scale it down, macro level, micro level, internet, Western world, regional, Middle East. The only difference is Israelis, we understand it and we see it, we call it the way it is. It's terrorism. And it's a threat to the Western world. And until we realize that you have to fight fire with fire. Matthew McConaughey, I was just talking about Matthew McConaughey yesterday, and how there was an interview with him a while back where he says, I'm not a nice person. I'm a kind person, right? Like, I want to believe that I'm a good person. But also good people have to do bad things for the greater good.
Yep.
That's what Israelis understand. We're good people. Dave, you know it better than most. We're good people. But sometimes you have to do things you don't like to better the world for the greater good.
Right.
And that's what the U.S. is doing right now. That's what Israel is doing right now. That's what they're doing together. So do I think that we need to achieve a deal with the IRGC? Depends on the deal. But as long as they're in power, they're going to continue to be an absolute threat. They might not be a threat now because of what Israel and the U.S. did to it, right? Like, it completely decapitated it and completely neutralized its abilities. So they're no longer a current threat, right? Especially because of the way Trump played the Straits of Hormuz, and how basically he's limiting all supply to China right now, and he's playing chess like a genius. What he did is incredible, and kudos to him. Look, I mean, this is what he did there is a play that I don't think many presidents would have been able to do.
Well,
say what you want.
First president to do it.
Yeah, I mean, again, politics aside, personal opinions aside, whatever you think about the man, what he did there is nothing less than genius. And oil prices are going to go down thanks to it, and our control of that area is going to go up thanks to it, which is a good thing. And any American that says, "Oh, why are our taxpayers, money going to that?" Well, trust me, you won't like the alternative. Nobody wants this.
Right.
Israel doesn't want it. The U.S. doesn't want it. But this is what has to happen. You think we want it? Yeah. There's always a bigger picture, right? I'm constantly looking at Val there just to see if we're good on the commercials, good on the news.
Yeah, we're good. We're all right.
We're good.
We don't need a break until 51.
Okay, great. Hey, I'm becoming an expert at this. I'm like, hey, I know how to look at the clock and really pay attention.
You're just sitting here watching me eat Reese's Pieces.
No, but seriously, this is something that I think we should constantly put the emphasis on. And we were talking about areas in the country, in the U.S., like Miami, right? And what it takes to lead different Jewish communities in the country, right? What works in New York might not work in Miami. The Miami Jewish Federation actually has an Israeli division, and an incredible woman is actually leading it. Her name is Shelley Ben-Izri. Actually, she and I both worked for the Israeli American Council. She's an incredible woman, Israeli American, now gets it, totally, understands what it means to lead an Israeli division, right? So the Israeli division at the Jewish Federation of Greater Miami is now in her hands, and she's doing an incredible job. And a lot of what she does is around the tech industry, is around business, is around, hey, how do we collaborate, right? How do we bring Israeli technology and startup and thinkers into American economy, right? Into the American economy. How do we make this a win-win, right? And this is how Israelis think. We always think, hey, what's good for everyone, right? How is this going to benefit everyone? Let's get the win-win. And that's what it takes to lead today. It takes bold leadership, understanding that sometimes we're going to have to do things we don't like. And it's okay. And it is what it is. We have to prioritize, which means that some things are going to fall between the cracks, right? Just like here in Arkansas, look, I tell my board this all the time. I say, look, I have my strengths. I know, we're a small organization. We're a small federation that, we live off of donations from Arkansas, the Arkansas community. There have to be priorities, right? We're not going to be able to do it all. And one of those priorities have to be the security and safety of the Jewish people of Arkansas, because anti-Semitism is on the rise. It's not going anywhere anytime soon. And this is why I call on all of our listeners, help us. Even if it's just increasing awareness, even if it's just, show up to our events. You're all welcome. Show up to our events and come talk to us. We're human. We're Americans. We want to do things together, right? We want to collaborate. Get to know us. I promise you, we absolutely love you, and we absolutely want to be a part of American fabric and society. We are here to be better Americans and to help America as Americans, just like Miami. And this is, by the way, why I mimic a lot of what I do on how Miami does it, because and I get a lot of pushback for it, by the way. I mean, look, one of the senior pastors here in the community in Little Rock told me, Enrico, every leader in the Bible, biblically speaking, every leader that God called upon to lead encountered resistance. It's a part of the game. And once you realize resistance and pushback is just a part of the territory, it becomes a lot easier to bear, right? And I can tell you, Dave, this position in Arkansas and me coming here as an Israeli and a young Israeli, right? Like with new ideas and new ways of thinking and this motivation and wanting to change. I'm definitely what they call a change agent, right? I am a visionary rebel.
You're an influencer.
I'm an influencer in that sense, but it doesn't come without its challenges, pushback, resistance, right? And I say to all of those people, we will prevail. I have faith because we're doing the right things. Right? Wait, is it 51? Yeah, it is 51. Look at that.
Take a break, and then we'll come back and finish up with Enrico. It's already been an hour. He's been on the air. It goes so fast. We'll be back in a moment here on the Dave Ellswick Show.
This was a great segment. I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, my office manager texted me, he's like, we're called Wisconsinites, not Wisconsiners.
Back with you. Finish it up now. We got about 5 minutes left with Enrico for this Thursday. Enrico, let me ask this question of you, because you guys had some monumental Memorial Day and Independence Day celebrations here over this last week. And you were telling me it was like riding a roller coaster.
Yes. So every year, so the way Israel does it is our Memorial Day is very sad. It's a day of remembering.
Should always be sad.
Yeah. I mean, our fallen heroes, right? Mm-hmm. IDF soldiers who paid the ultimate price, gave their lives in service of Israel. And then immediately a day later, basically within a 24-hour period, you go into celebrating our Independence Day. Just yesterday, my brother from another mother, Captain Michael Krause, sent me a text message, "Happy Independence Day, man." And it hit me because it's such a roller coaster, right? Like you go from sadness and memory and really, really kind of mourning your fallen heroes and lighting candles and standing, in silence into let's all have a barbecue and let's all have let's grill out and have parties and celebrate our independence.
Right.
But it goes to show what Israelis go through all the time. And this happens every year. And it's by design, because that is how fast Israelis have to switch mindsets, right? Like this is how fast we have to recoup from everything, recover. I said it before, most Israelis, our default emotional setting is PTSD, right? Like that's our baseline, that's our base level. If you're my age, you are a first intifada baby, second intifada teenager. If you were born right now, then you are living in crisis right now. If you are a Lieutenant Colonel Eyal Dror, the guy,
we had on
the commander of Operation Good Neighbor, like holy crap, seriously. Like, I mean, we're talking the commander of Operation Good Neighbor, the architect behind that operation. His kids are right now living in the north of Israel, basically on the border with Syria and Lebanon, experiencing bombs and attacks. Like the way he described it was incredible. Going to the grocery store is like a mission. It's like a military operation.
Yeah,
right?
Military operation to get there and get back safe.
Exactly. That's what Israelis are. So this week, really, I mean, thank you for actually asking that question. I really appreciate it, because it was a tough week. Every week is a tough week. So if you see your Israeli Jewish friends, maybe talk to them. Say, hey, we know this was not an easy week for you, and we're here for you, right? And it reminds me of my Saba, of my Nono, of my grandpa, right? The guy who survived the Holocaust, went to Israel, fought for our independence, right? And he was always such a happy person. He's the one who I think about. There is a sentence that he always told me. In Hebrew, I asked him a question. Hey, Saba, ma inyanim. Ma inyanim in Hebrew means, hey, how's everything going? And he always used to respond with bonim binyanim, because it rhymes. Ma inyanim, bonim binyanim, it rhymes. Bonim binyanim in Hebrew means we're building buildings. The literal meaning of it is we're building, right? We're doing. The guy who has every reason to be sad and bitter and hate the world because he's been through the worst of humanity, puts a smile on his face and tells you, we're building, we're doing. So I call on all Americans, all of your listeners, all of our listeners, focus on the positivity, focus on the building. Let's build together, because together is the only way forward.
I appreciate you coming in every week. It's great having you here and talking with you and trying to get things from a perspective from another part of the world that most Americans don't even understand. I mean, seriously, they don't understand it. I mean, some of us think we do, but I've not been growing up with looking down the barrel of a gun.
Mm-hmm.
You have.
My goal really every time I come here is to help listeners a little bit, bit by bit, be able to remove the Western lens from which they see the world and put on Middle Eastern lens, because that is the only way you can view that area of the world. And just like Lieutenant Colonel Eyal Dror says in his lectures when I listen to him in Israel, he shows you. I know we have 30 seconds here,
yeah.
but he shows you Syria and Lebanon, and he says, in the Middle East, we do not appreciate weakness.
Yeah. Yeah, he said that last week.
Yeah.
All right. We appreciate you coming in. Thanks for making the Dave Ellswick Show one of your stops on your Thursdays. We appreciate it, and we'll see you next week.
Absolutely.
Thank
you.
We got to take a break. Matt Smith is on deck. He'll be up next here on the Dave Ellswick Show. into the final hour of the Dave Ellswick Show for a Thursday. Matt Smith in the studio. He is here right now. He just got back from Vegas, where the studios were
yes, sir,
in Vegas and talking about movies. And I'll tell you, the first question on my mouth was, did you see the trailer for Ulysses?
Yes. They showed us probably 15 minutes of the film. And, of course, they had Christopher Nolan, and they had the director there.
Christopher Nolan.
Yeah.
I bet that was cool listening to what he had to say.
Yeah, it was cool. It was nice. I mean, he was out. He spoke. Universal showed about 15 minutes of that film. They gave us about 15 minutes of disclosure. Had Spielberg come out and talk. First time Spielberg had ever been to CinemaCon.
Wow.
That was cool. We got about 15 minutes of Minions and Monsters, and they also had that director come out.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So just, I caught all the studio things, and I would say, down at the bottom is your independents that are scratching and clawing, whether that's Neon, Area 24, Sony Pictures Classics, Icon, Fathom, Screen Vision, Area 24, all your little indie distributors are kind of at the bottom. I would put Sony a notch above that for the coming year. Of course, they've got their big movie, which will be Spider-Man, Brave New World in July. Sony also has a new Jumanji film at Christmas.
All right. I was wondering about that because on Prime, they've been showing the original.
It's out at Christmas. Of course, they brought out The Rock. They brought out Jack Black. They brought out Kevin Hart.
Right.
They brought the young lady out from the film. They brought the stars of Spider-Man out. So that would be their two big hitters this year.
So who's playing Spider-Man now?
Oh, man, I can't remember. It all runs together. So many stars. So many directors.
Toby, what's his name playing?
Maguire. So many people. And then so July for Spider-Man, Christmas for Jumanji. August, they've got a new Insidious. They brought that director out. So that's in August. And in September, they've got a reboot of Resident Evil.
Really?
Yeah, they're rebooting that.
That's
with
great.
A new director in September. And then next year, they'll have a new Spider-Man Spider-Verse animated.
Okay.
So that's coming up next year.
A new Megan, huh?
Yeah. And
3.0 this time?
Yeah, and I would put the Spider-Verse, Morales. What's that? Okay. Morales, I guess. I would put, Morales, the Spider-Verse animated would be 2027.
Okay.
So summer picture, Spider-Man, Brave New World. Christmas picture, new Jumanji. Got August in Insidious, a September in Resident Evil. Then next year, the new Spider-Verse picture. So after the Independence, a step above that is going to be the Sony product. Then Universal had their presentation. Like I said, they had Christopher Nolan there and gave us about 50 minutes of Odyssey. Good looking picture. Had the director from Minions and Monsters out there, gave us about 50 minutes of that. And then they had Spielberg there to talk about Disclosure Day, gave us about 50 minutes of that. 3 big hits from them. They've got some other releases. I would put Universal above them. Above Sony. So your indies, then Sony, then Universal. And then,
was Warner's there?
Of course. Yeah. They're not playing.
Okay.
Don't get them confused. They're not on little bowling alleys or anything. They're showing movies.
Right.
So, so a step above Universal, I would say something that I haven't said in many, many, many years, but Paramount.
Oh, very good.
I would put ahead of Universal. It's shocking what Paramount is bringing to bear. For a long time, they've been breathing through a straw, and basically Tom Cruise has kept them alive. But they're owned by Skydance now, They popped out there and just wow, they've got a slate of films. They're reworking Star Trek. They're reworking Transformers. They've got a new Ninja Turtles movie. They've got a new Paw Patrol movie. I mean, it's just nuts.
They're pulling all the guns out.
It is, and they're saying that they're going to get up to a product level of 15 pictures, maybe 18 movies a year.
Wow, that's a lot of money.
That's a lot of movies. And I mean, they look strong. And I never would have in years past say that they've got a better slate of films out there than Universal, but they do. They're going to have a Sonic the Hedgehog 4.
All right.
Yeah. They've got a scary movie called The End of Oak Street, which just looks incredible. I mean, they're out there. Shocking in how good a number of films that they have and how many, right?
So does Cruise have something coming out with him?
His next title will be with Warner.
And that's going to be what the next.
It's called Digger.
Oh, Digger.
I hadn't got to Warner yet. Sony came out and said a lot of things that I thought was really good. Sony said, you're mentally retarded and need to be hit in the face if you put movies on home view. That is ignorant. You don't need to do that. And Warner came out with a big presentation talking about the sweet spot in theatrical exclusive, or Sony did. I'm sorry, Sony.
Okay.
Sony said, we need to pop you in the face if, you put your movies on home view. You're just retarded and you hate money. Somebody, you don't deserve to live. It's just stupid. And nobody showing up at CinemaCon is making a movie for it to be watched on a laptop, a television, or a little iPhone.
Yeah,
nobody.
I'm all about that.
Yeah. So the Sony guy comes out and he's got all these charts and graphics and just, discussing the windows and what you need to do. And if you're putting it on a home view, you're cannibalizing your product. You're taking money out of everybody's pocket, how dumb it is. And the Sony guy comes out and says it needs to be 62 days, which I don't know. I mean, I don't know how that's news for anybody that's paid attention. That's kind of what the sweet spot was since back in the 80s.
Okay.
I mean, back in the day, and I think it pretty much still rings, 1986 and still rings true here in 2026. You need about 8 screens, to service all the distributors. And,
right.
Probably 25% of movies are going to play about 2 weeks. 50% of movies are going to play about 4 weeks. And about 25% of movies are going to play about 8 weeks. 8 weeks is 62 days.
All right.
It is very rare to need to run a movie beyond 8 weeks. And if you've got 8 screens, you can pop in 2 movies every Friday. And odds are when you roll the dice, 25% are 2-week movies, 25% are 8-week movies, and about 50% are 4-week movies. That's about the extent of the audience. If you keep those movies theatrical exclusive, then you're in a situation of maximizing your revenue theatrically. It does not hurt downstream. You can still drop it on home view for $20, and he was saying you need to go 62 days theaters only. Then you need to go about 60 days where you pay $20 to watch it at home, then dump it on a streaming service. That's what the Sony guy was saying. I think 62 days is the sweet spot. I don't think when you're pushing a movie like a Top Gun to 90 or 120 days as a theatrical exclusive, you're bringing much money in on the other side. I think most people who watch it are watching it in the first 8 weeks. Right?
I would agree with that.
Yeah. So he went in a tangent about how, things need to be more affordable, which I can agree with. But I don't understand why you're lecturing cinema owners about affordability when you constantly want more money for your movies. So it can't be both ways. You want us to have cheaper concessions and cheaper tickets, but you still want your money.
Yeah.
Which I can't agree with that. But I do agree that 62 days is a sweet spot on streaming. Then he complained about advertising, which, he's talking to the big dummies because, you'll look at something like an AMC or a Regal, or they're running, Cinemark, the 3 big chains, they're running 30 minutes of ads before the movie starts.
Right.
You know, I mean, you go to one of the Cinemark, Regal, or AMC, you go on Fandango to buy a ticket to one of those places. And I mean, you look on Fandango and it'll tell you, you know, actual movie starts 30 minutes after posted time. So, I mean, you're running a half hour ads, you know, which is just, you know, people pay for a subscription service at home so they don't have to watch broadcast TV with ads on it.
Mm-hmm.
And so then you're running 30 minutes of this advertising for some crap like dishwashing detergent in front of your movie. Man, it's ridiculous. You know, 10 minutes, man. I mean, that's it. I mean, just, you know, 10 minutes. I mean, have a couple ads, so 2 or 3 previews and show the movie.
Yeah, right? I'd much rather see more trailers than see ads.
I am not running no 30 minutes of ads. That's just dumb, you know? So I kind of agree with him for scolding the big chains for that. And then that was Sony's point. Universal came out of the gate and said, right now, starting today, we're going to 45-day theatrical exclusive window. Universal said that. Paramount came out of the gate, 45-day theatrical exclusive window. Okay. So everybody is moving back to that. Took them 6 years, but, you know, they've decided they want to make some money. Right.
When Christopher Nolan is sitting behind the camera and he's shooting whatever movie he's shooting, he is sure as hell not thinking about a cell phone.
Yeah.
He's thinking about a big screen.
Right. No, nobody wants to do that. Okay. Anybody going into your business wants to be Howard Stern. Okay. Anybody making movies is shooting for the screen. They're not shooting for the phone. Right. They're trying to make movies for cinema.
That's good.
Yeah. And Paramount, you know, great film lineup, a lot of good spots. I was pleasantly surprised by the MGM presentation. MGM's committing to 15 movies into theaters a year, spending $1 billion a year on movies. They are just trying to hit home runs.
Did MGM talk about James Bond?
They came out, they named the director, they named the screenwriter, they named the cinematographer, they named the producer. They are still looking for a star.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing I don't like about it is I did not hear broccoli anywhere in the discussion, which troubles me.
Okay.
You know, because, you know, you are such a historic, you know, million-year-old family. You've got so much money that a vegetable is named after you. Okay.
I know who you're talking about.
Understand? Yeah. You understand, like when you eat broccoli, it's named after them.
Yes.
Okay. They owned James Bond. That was their piece of intellectual property. Okay. And they have guided it through all the iterations.
Yep.
From Sean Connery to Daniel Craig. Okay. And I'm sitting here and I'm not hearing that name. Y'all rattling off 10 people involved with James Bond. You ain't said broccoli yet.
That's not good.
That troubles me deeply.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't drop the ball on that franchise, fellas.
Yeah,
now,
they're
gonna have a Spaceballs too, and they're bringing back
that was happening.
Bringing back all of the original stars that are still alive for that. They're swinging for the fences. They are releasing 15 films through MGM. I think 7 of them are hits. About 7 of them are going to be misses completely. They were trying to handle the distribution for their movies in America with kind of a skeleton crew. And Sony was distributing their movies overseas for them for a fee. But now they beefed up and they brought out their Brazil, their Argentina, their Italy, their Spain, their Mexico sales teams that's going to be selling the film and marketing, which looks good. You know, they brought out a bunch of stars, brought out some directors, you know, and some of it, hey, I get it. You got a new James Bond movie coming. I get it. You're going to have a new Spaceballs 2 finally 100 years later. I get it. Right. Yeah, what I don't get is like they've got this movie called Your Mother, Your Mother, Your Mother, right? And I don't understand the stupidity of that being the title. Why don't you just call the movie Your Mother? Okay. A movie needs maybe a 1-word, possibly 2-word title. That's it.
Yeah, something easy to remember.
Just, 1 or 2 words. That needs to be the name of your movie. Okay.
Right.
All right. And then I watched this junk, and I don't even think that dude's mom would buy a ticket to watch that movie. Probably his mother's going to watch the movie because she gets in free.
All right.
It's just trash.
Let's take a break. We got to take a break talking about Vegas, CinemaCon, what was going on, what did the man here, Matt Smith, see and hear, what impressed him and what didn't. 1022, the Dave Ellswick Show. All right, Matt Smith is in the studio today talking about CinemaCon that went down in Vegas. He just got back from Las Vegas, I guess probably Saturday?
Today's Thursday, Monday.
Monday, all right.
Yeah.
He came back in, and
yes,
you got a lot of interesting news.
Yes,
now you haven't talked about Warner's yet.
Yes. So, and I'm going to say, for the year, next 12 months or so, I think Paramount's 3rd at the box office, Universal's 4th, Sony's 5th. It's been years and years and years and years since I would have ranked Paramount above Universal. But now slugging it out for number 1 and number 2 is going to be Disney and Warner Brothers. And I don't know who will win at the box office. Warner Brothers has a large amount of strong, good quality motion pictures.
Okay.
Disney has fewer pictures, but a stronger name brand with the IP.
Okay.
Right? So Disney's got the Devil Wears Prada, which starts next week. Devil Wears Prada 2.
It's going to be huge.
Going to bring back the original cast from the original movie, which is probably 20 years ago at this point. They had those ladies at CinemaCon. They were out there.
I got to tell you, that's the only movie that I hear from Val.
Yeah.
She really is looking forward.
It's going to do some business. Yes, no doubt about it. That's going to do business. That's coming from Disney a week from today.
Okay.
Going to be huge for an early May picture, a big woman's picture, not a 4-quadrant picture by no means, but it's going to sell some tickets. Then on May the 22nd, you have Star Wars presents Mandalorian and Grogu.
Yeah, it's going to be huge.
They had Jon Favreau out to talk about that. He also spoke at a lunch one day. They showed us probably 15 minutes of that movie. It has the action, the adventure, the special effects that you would expect from a Star Wars movie. Right. It also has the heartwarming aspects that you get from Star Wars. Massive business there. May the 22nd. It's just going to blow the doors off. Just wow.
Yeah, everybody's going to want to see that movie.
Yes. Then they're going to follow that up July 19th with Toy Story 5. They brought out Tom Hanks and Tim Allen to talk about
I've heard that they were doing a new Toy Story movie.
Toy Story 5 is June the 19th, and that's going to be massive, just massive. Basically, they showed us a lot of that movie. And in Mandalorian and Grogu, the Mandalorian is trying to eliminate members of the Empire that are taking over little sections of the galaxy since the Empire has fallen.
Okay.
And instead of bounty hunting various people, he is essentially hunting down these former Empire executives that are basically operating as mafioso type gangsters across the galaxy. He's trying to bring them in for the Rebel Alliance. And, Grogu's with him. Mandalorian looks great. And then you get to Toy Story 5, June the 19th. And basically the toys want to play with this little girl. And all she's worried about is an iPad.
Oh,
and so it's the classic,
what a great story that will be.
Classic toys trying to get kids off iPads. Just a great storyline. The toys are back. Jesse's there, Woody's there, Buckshot is there, Buzz Lightyear is there.
Is Bo Peep in?
Yes, it's back. It's going to be awesome, going to be cool, going to be great. Blowing in June the 19th. And then on July 10th, they have Moana, the live action version.
Oh, okay.
They brought The Rock out for that. Of course, he was already there. He'd been there earlier for Jumanji.
Mm-hmm.
And they brought the girl out. This is her first role. She is a Pacific Islander. She looks the part. And she's a really good singer. And I think that's why they chose her for the role. They showed some Moana. Looks great. It just looks really good.
Okay, need you to hold your thoughts. We'll come back, pick this up after the news. We went long in the first segment. That's why this segment's so short. But we'll be back in about 4 minutes after the news. All right, back with you. Matt Smith
Yes,
is here.
yes.
He was out of town last week. He was in Vegas, and there's never a bad time as far as I'm concerned to go to Las Vegas.
Oh, no. You should move there.
So you were over there and you're doing your thing. You
Amen.
were CinemaCon. How many days did that run? For 5 days?
CinemaCon was Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, if you did it all open to close out.
Okay.
And then I went ahead and stayed Friday, Saturday, Sunday to do some more fun stuff I wanted to do. So, and a lot of the things at CinemaCon, I participated in watching all the trailers, watching the movies at screen, meeting with the studios. I did all that. I went to all the, cool parties I got invites to and things. I did all that. But, there's a lot of stuff at CinemaCon that, I don't need. I didn't go to the trade show. I've got my seating and projector and sound and concession suppliers. I don't need to go to the trade show. And there's a lot of stuff out there that I think they just run these different these different educational programs that a lot of people would like send a manager to.
Right.
Customer service class one day, or projector class one day, or the future of cinema one day, or whatever. I don't participate in that. I work in a lot of time to see my friends and do some other things while I'm in Vegas. I'm basically there to, talk to people that work at the studios and then see what's coming up.
So did you make it to the Sphere while you were there?
I didn't, but I've seen the World movie at Sphere.
Okay.
I've seen Wizard of Oz at Sphere. I will see Metallica at Sphere this fall. So, I'm looking forward to that. Saw my friends, went to the Nobu rooftop party, went to the party at Drea's on the rooftop. I went to the Caesars rooftop party, went to the Caesars pool party. I went to Omnia rooftop party. I went to a different.
Man, you about did it all.
Yeah, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday nights. I went to a different rooftop party, and then I was at Fremont Street for some bands. Friday and Saturday night. Saw Penn and Teller. Shot machine guns. Saw Eddie Griffin. Saw my friends that play in bands there, and we got to go and eat. Yeah,
that's funny because I met Penn and Teller last time I was in Vegas.
Yeah, it's
they're pretty funny.
That's a very easy, very kind of PG, family friendly show. They've been doing it for 50 years.
Mm-hmm.
They've been there for a long time. The only thing I don't like about their show, they've always done a show at 8:00. And I was there for 10 days. If I go out there for a shorter period of time, I will typically do 2 shows a night. I'll do a show at 7 and a show at 10.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And I would not go see Penn and Teller again. I had seen them before. I don't know. They've been doing it for 50 years. I've probably seen them and met them 5 or 6 times now over their career. I would never go to their show, or I haven't recently, because it's at 8:00. And so if you go to an 8:00 show, you only get one show that night. But I was out there so long, I went ahead and went to the show.
Yeah, the extra time.
Exactly. Yes. And I went to Fremont and just had a good time. And,
Fremont is it's a lot of fun down there.
Well, I had some friends that have been doing a show at the Hard Rock for 15 years. And that show ended in December. Now they're down on Fremont Street. But I think when the new Hard Rock opens up, they'll go into one of the venues there when they get that open. So that's why I went to Fremont and did some zip lining and, shot some machine guns and flew around some helicopters, shot some machine guns out of some helicopters, so. Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, because I got my friends that live out there. And so typically we'll spend a day, racing cars at the racetrack, or maybe out in the desert with some Humvees or something.
Right.
We typically will do that one day when I'm there. And then another day we'll do something guns. And so the last time I was there, we did Machine Guns Vegas, and, but this time we did machine guns and helicopters, which was cool.
Very cool.
So,
okay, good stuff.
So, it just, hey, it's, I'm going back in October. I can remember One year I went 11 times.
Wow.
In 12 months.
Wow.
So, yeah. So
you were burning the candle.
Yeah,
not burning the candle both ends. You threw the candle into the fire.
Yeah, I mean it's it's a great town, and I just a couple things get on my nerves. I mean, I don't like constantly walking through the casinos where people smoke.
Yeah,
I hate the secondhand smoke.
Man, that's the one thing I hate too. It's gross.
It's a great town, and if you're like me, you don't smoke, you don't drink, you don't gamble. I have no issues with that. I don't want any alcohol. I don't want any cigarettes. I don't want any marijuana. I have no desire to throw the dice. I don't hate my money.
Yeah,
and I don't hate my health.
Yeah, so always know that the house is going to win in the end.
Right. Yep. So, since I don't drink alcohol, don't smoke cigarettes, don't vape, don't smoke marijuana, don't gamble, I am there for, entertainment, food, fun, my friends, that kind of thing. It's just, one of my friends had a cookout. I went to the cookout. They had a pig roast with the pig in the ground.
There you go.
And, we had a barbecue.
Good stuff.
We got in the swimming pool.
Yeah.
Man, had a good time. I was glad to see all my friends, glad to do all that, so anyway, back to Disney, to Disney. So Moana, just
live version.
Yeah. The rocks in it, just looks incredible. They got this girl that's a Pacific Islander. She's got this voice on her that's just angelic. She's actually singing the songs. They showed us 15, 20 minutes of the movie. The girl does a good job. She does a great job.
Good.
It's going to be great. And that's in July. And then in late August, they've got a movie called The Dog Stars, which is coming from Disney. And it is kind of a post-apocalyptic thing where this guy has like his German Shepherds, his Belgians, and they're kind of protecting him. And it's more of a dystopian thing after kind of a disaster.
Oh, okay.
It's a late August picture after school starts, something you would typically expect to see in the fall.
Okay.
Okay.
Understand those.
Right. They've got a picture called Whale Fall coming up in October. And it is a psychological thriller. This guy is scuba diving. And while he is scuba diving, a whale and a giant squid are fighting.
Okay.
He's under the water to see that. He is trying to get away as the whale swallows the squid. He gets caught up in it, and he's being swallowed as well. It is really freaky. It is really going to mess with your head.
Okay.
That's called Whale Fall. That
sounds like something I'd be interested in seeing.
It's in October. At Thanksgiving, they've got an animated feature called Hexed. And it's about this little girl who finds a book that's going to teach her magic. And they're still working on that. So they just had like a trailer and a few minutes. Didn't see much of Hex, but that's their Thanksgiving picture. Next March, they're going to have a movie called Gato. And it is an animated from Pixar about a black cat.
Okay.
And all they showed us on that was the movie poster. Next February, they have a new, from 20th Century, they have a new Ice Age movie.
Really?
Yeah, that's coming out next
February.
February.
It's been a while since Ice Age.
Coming out next February, and they've got Queen Latifah and, Raymond from Everybody Loves Raymond, and the other voice actor, I can't remember now. They came out on stage and talked about it with the director. That's next February. Ice Age Boiling Point is the title.
Boy.
Yes, so that's coming out next February. And then on December the 18th, 2026, that's going to be known as Doomsday, the new Avengers movie.
All right.
Now,
got to get excited about that.
They have Robert Downey Jr. back
as Iron Man.
No, he is the bad guy.
Oh, in this movie, he's going to be the bad guy.
He's Doomsday guy, yeah.
Oh, okay. So he's playing Dr. Doom then.
Yes, they brought him out. Okay, he's back. The original Captain America is back as Captain America, Chris Evans.
Oh, good.
We don't have Falcon, blah, 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 fake Captain America.
Yeah.
We have actual Chris Evans, Captain America.
Okay.
Not the trash that's been Captain America in the past few movies, but the actual Captain America.
All right.
Chris Evans.
Yes, I
He's
understand.
back.
Yeah.
Robert Downey Jr.'s back.
Yeah.
The Avengers, they're all back.
Okay. Is Chris Helmsworth in it?
They're all back, bro.
All right. Okay. I'm just asking.
And not only are all the Avengers back for this movie, the X-Men are in this movie.
Are they?
Yes.
So Wolverine's back.
They showed the trailer and people lost their minds.
I bet.
The trailer got a standing ovation. Then Chris Evans and Robert Downey Jr. came out and talked a little bit, and they asked people if they want to see the trailer again. People were screaming and yelling. They showed the trailer again. That's how Disney ended their presentation.
You know, I could just watch Wolverine all day long.
Unbelievable.
You know, they wouldn't even have to show him. All they have to show is his hand and show those talons coming.
Everybody's in this movie, man.
That'd be a good
They got old bald-headed Star Trek dude in the movie.
Oh, he's back doing
He's
it
in his
too,
wheelchair.
Professor, really?
Yeah.
X-Men's in this thing.
Nice.
It was nuts, man. It was nuts.
Yeah.
It's going to be huge. This is going to be huge. So Disney has strong films. Okay. Not a lot of films.
Okay.
Okay. But they may be number one.
Quality over quantity.
They may be number one in the next 12 months.
All right.
I've got to mention Sheep Detectives, which is coming out May 8th from MGM. Looks like a good movie for kids. I forgot to mention that. That's May the 8th from MGM. Forgot to mention that. Warner Brothers.
All right. That's
Warner
what I
Brothers.
want to hear.
Lots of movies. Lots of quality movies. Lots of strong movies. They got Supergirl.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
They brought the girl out. That's Supergirl. They brought out Jason Momoa. He's in the film.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did they bring the dog?
Let's see.
Crypto?
They brought the director out.
Okay.
They showed like a long clip, maybe 20 minutes of it.
Okay.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, and it was fantastic.
I mean, it looks good.
Just fantastic. You know,
Yeah.
It's going to be strong. It's going to be strong. Just no doubt about it. It's in there.
So DC made the right decision to put gun in control.
Most definitely. Yeah.
Okay.
Impressive. Very impressed with what I saw. And I just got like one plot point in everything that was going on, right?
Mm-hmm.
Really good. They've got a new thing called Warner Animation, and they're making a Cat in the Hat movie.
All right.
They brought out the director from that, and then they showed us 10, 15 minutes of it. Looks good for kids. Looks really strong. Really good. Let's see what else is out there. There's a new Fokker in-law movie out there. They're bringing back the original cast with Ben Stiller and Robert De Niro.
Okay.
That movie's out there. Warner is making Godzilla times Kong Supernova.
All right.
Going to be crazy big.
I love
No
that.
doubt about that. Wow. Okay. Mortal Kombat 2, May the 8th.
Right.
Looks really strong.
I'm looking
really
forward
strong.
to seeing it.
That's
'Cause
out there.
Johnny Cage is in this
Yes. That's Warner. I forgot to mention Street Fighter in October from Paramount. That's out there.
one. Dusty Rhodes.
Yes. What else? Oh, Scary Movie 6 is coming up this summer, which looks really strong, really, really good. Gosh, man, so much. It's our best slate of movies really since 2019.
That's got to excite you.
There's a Masters of the Universe movie coming out on June the 5th from MGM.
Yeah.
They brought those stars out, and they gave all of us a Masters of the Universe sword to take home. Just really impressive. That's going to be one of MGM's hits for sure. I mean, and I tell you what is shocking for me is also on December the 18th is Dune 3.
I'm looking. You've hardly heard anything about it yet.
They had all the soldiers wrapped up in the clothes march in, a whole bunch of them, and cover the stage. And they had some people drop out of the ceiling onto the stage. And then they brought out the director, and then they brought out that Zenda girl. You know, she's hot right now. She's what Megan Fox was when Megan, 10, 15 years ago. 10, 15 years ago when Megan Fox was young and attractive.
Yeah.
She's that now. She's the new It Girl. And then they brought out Jason Momoa. He's back. His character is back. His character was not in Dune 2.
That's right.
His character was killed off in Dune 1.
Yeah.
His character is back for Dune 3.
Good.
Then they brought out Timothée Chalamet. He's hot right now. He's a hot little girlish boy. He's hot.
He is volcanic right now.
He's a little bitty, skinny, 1 pound rascal. They brought him out. He looked like a little toothpick standing by Jason Momoa.
I bet.
He looked like he was seriously needed to have his tea checked. He looked low on tea standing there. He looked like a little girl standing by Jason Momoa. He's like, man, he's getting a gym.
Give that boy a meal.
He's getting a gym. Very effeminate standing there. But anyway, director came out. Okay, cool. Then they showed us about the first 20 minutes of Dune 3.
Well, if it's anything like the book, all the action is in the third of the book.
And so, the Warner Brothers thing, they get the little Warner Brothers logo comes up, and then they got the waves. They show us the water tower, Warner Brothers. You know? And then, boom, it starts, and the spaceships fall out to the sky onto the sand. Then these dudes are popping out of the spaceships, and this thing pops up out of the stand and starts shooting these tracer rounds at them. And I mean, it is just like, grab your seat, man, and hold on, because all the stuff is blowing up. It's just insane, crazy, man.
So Villanueva, the director, looks like he did it right.
Wow.
Good.
Wow.
I look forward to it then.
I mean, yeah. Supergirl's blowing the doors off, man. I mean, Dune 3, whoa, look out. And I tell you what is just crazy is December 18th is Dune 3 and Avengers.
Wow.
Same day.
Oh, my God.
So essentially, there's going to be 2 movies playing that weekend.
Yeah. Get ready. People at the concession stand better be ready.
Because you're going to have a couple screens of Doomsday, couple screens of Avengers, couple screens of Dune. Then you're going to need some 3D. Well, that's 6 screens right there.
Yeah.
I mean, if you got an 8-plex, you're probably playing 2 movies on the 18th.
Well, there probably not going to be people going to any other movies.
I mean, this is going to be
2.
insane. This is going to be insane. And I can't believe nobody's moved off that date. But they are not. Warner's going toe-to-toe with Disney on that date.
They put their flag down, brother.
Right. Makes no sense to me. Now, I got when we had Barbie and Oppenheimer on the same day.
Yeah, well, that's counter-programming.
Barbie appeals to women, girls, young kids. I get it.
But these 2 are 2 big action movies.
Oppenheimer was R, and it appealed to adults and mostly men. So there was plenty of divergent customers to go around. But Avengers and Dune 3, that's the same customer, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if people watch one and turn around and watch the other one, or watch one Friday and one Saturday. I mean,
I agree.
I cannot believe they sat there on December the 18th, but they was trash talking each other. Disney was trash talking Warner. Warner's trash talking Disney.
Competition brings out the best, man.
Warner gave out this T-shirt, man, and the Disney guy got up there and he said, "Hey, when y'all leaving from here, we got something for you guys, and it's better than a T-shirt." I was like, what? We're leaving from the Disney presentation. They got these koozies, and inside the koozies is a free drink ticket any bar at Caesars.
There you go.
I'm like, what?
You got to love that. All right, quick break. Then we'll come back and finish it up for Thursday. All right, I've got about 90 seconds left. Let me tell Matt, thank you for coming in today, because I'll tell you what, he's been burning the candle everywhere.
Hey, happy to be here, really. And just come see us, Riverdale10.com, Riverdale10.com. And, of course, new today is Michael Jackson Story. That's new at all of my theaters today. That's playing. We also have an IFC film called Over Your Dead Body. We've also got a movie called Fuse from Roadside Attractions. But the big one this week at all of my theaters is Michael Jackson Story, Riverdale10.com.
I've seen some of the reviews. They've been very good.
It's I think they're going to make more than one.
Oh, really?
There might be 2 or 3 of these. Yeah, it's a good story. Of course, an icon, pop icon.
Yeah, he was. I went and saw the stage play that came through town just recently, and it was awesome.
Be a popular movie for sure.
It was awesome. Thanks for coming in. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
I'll see you in the morning, 7 o'clock, Dave Ellswick Show right here at The Answer.